is at the White House.
We really are witnessing a tale of two different debate strategies. Former President Donald Trump is out and about. He's meeting with supporters. He feels relaxed. He says that helps him get energized for the debate, whereas President Biden has not been to the White House since last week. He is practicing and practicing even more at Camp David, the presidential retreat in the Maryland mountains. He's been there since last Thursday. We know that 16 aides have been preparing and meeting with him. The Trump team would argue they too are preparing for the debate, though it may not be as formal. The former president said he's always being asked questions by aides and by the press, and that helps him prepare.
And Fox News polling says 3 in 10 voters think debate performance will be extremely important for their November vote. Tune into the Fox News Democracy 24 special coverage of the CNN presidential debate simulcast at 9 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. And President Biden now has the endorsement of Republican former Congressman Adam Kinzinger. He voted for former President Trump in 2020, but has been critical of him after the Capitol riot and says he never thought he'd be endorsing a Democrat, but says he knows Joe Biden will protect democracy. America's listening to Fox News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. An important message about your timeshare from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. Contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about timeshare cancellation.
Call 800-653-1188. 800-653-1188.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The high heat is gone. Our high temperature this afternoon, 88 degrees with a steady drop in the humidity. Partly sunny skies. Tonight, clear and nice. Beautiful evening, 67 for the low. On Thursday, sunny and comfortable, 88. But the heat and humidity comes back Friday, especially in the afternoon. Stays with us Saturday, but cooler on Sunday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aw, he just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Nos vamos a divertir mucho.
And that means we're going to have a lot of fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Is your old garage door a real clunker? Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is paying cash for your clunkers now. They'll haul away your old garage door and give you instant credit towards the new insulated door. $200 for the first garage door and $100 for each additional door. Cash in your old opener, too. It's cash for clunkers now at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Convenient, free in-home estimates. Schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com or call 314-781-5200.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text LION to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text LION to 42424. That's LION to 42424.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Okay, what they actually decided was that the various plaintiffs who would come forward to sue over this issue, they don't have standing. So this is an issue that we saw just last week or just days ago. If you remember, the challenge to mifepristone, that abortion pill, 9-0, the court decided that they didn't have standing, the pro-life doctors who brought that case. It looks like they're doing similar here, but it's not a unanimous opinion. It looks like Justice Barrett, who is one of the most junior justices, and they're released in reverse seniority. So it says that Chief Justice Robert Sotomayor, Kagan, Kavanaugh, and Jackson joined together. Justice Alito dissents with Thomas and Gorsuch. But essentially what they're saying is neither the states, because there were states involved in this, and or the plaintiffs have the standing to seek the injunction against any defendants.
So that was pretty much the big Supreme Court ruling that we got this morning. Still nothing on immunity, but Shannon Bream, as she is apt to do, she's my favorite when it comes to anything that has to do with Supreme Court because she's very well studied and very experienced in everything Supreme Court. So I listen, I lean in when she talks. The Missouri case here essentially was pushed away and said there's no standing. So there's not an actual ruling on what took place there. They just essentially said the same thing as the mifepristone abortion pill ruling that came out, what was it, 2 weeks ago, I guess, that said we're not going to go over, we're not going to litigate the merits of this case because you're not the right people to bring this case. And a lot of people not really loving that. And we'll dig more into that as the day goes on, as the story is continuing to unfold. We are a day away from the debate, and we're very excited for everybody who is going to be with us at Dave & Buster's tomorrow. It is sold out fast. There's another debate. It's September 10th, I believe. And I'm just going to say right now, when we announce whatever we're going to do for a September 10th debate, get those tickets fast because I want to see all of you there. And this one just filled up super, super fast. I'm really excited for the debate tomorrow. I'm really bummed that it decided to rain for the first time in 8 years last night. This is the last week of league baseball for my son. And Brad, this is out near where Brad lives, but there was a lightning show all around the fields, but with technology today, which I respect. They have these, you can have a system where if lightning strikes within a certain amount of distance, an alarm goes off, and then the rule is that you have to clear the field at least for 30 minutes. So naturally, last night, supposed to have a baseball game then, supposed to have a baseball game Friday, finally gets rained out. They finally call it last night. We sat there for an hour plus waiting for a decision to be made, and they scheduled his baseball game for when? Thursday at 8. Don't they know what's going on Thursday at 8?
Man, nobody's going to go to that baseball game.
I got news for you. Let's just say that the people who are at that baseball game to begin with really love the people who are on the field.
Yeah.
In general, that's the way it goes. It's youth baseball. So I'm going to miss the baseball game. I'm going to be at the debate. It's one of those hard things. I've got 4 kids. If you're familiar with the show, you already know that. I talk about them quite a bit. But it's one of those really difficult things that I have to do as a working mom of 4. I'm always trying to balance the work and the kid thing. And this is not unlike anybody else out there right now who's working in a dual income home. And I always think about this conversation surrounding, where do women belong? Do they belong at the boardroom table or do they belong in the kitchen making PBJs? And the actual feminist answer to that is, I'll ask her where she'd like to be. That's really what feminism was supposed to do, is to say, it should really be up to her to decide what she wants to do. Now you have people like me who have kids at home and a job and a workplace, and so you got to balance everything. And there's always going to be conflicts. And you just have to know where's the priority. And for me, it's always my kids. My kids are always the priority. But my kids also have to understand that I have responsibilities, and that when they grow up, they're going to have responsibilities too. Maybe it's to make the PBJs, to make sure the house is in order and that the kids are being raised, educated and all of that. It's up to the woman. But they also my children are being raised to understand that I do have responsibilities. And I think that they respect me for that. I think. So when you look at the way that moms and dads are balancing their time today in June of 2024, and you factor in the idea that in the United States of America, we get to elect a president of the United States who's going to have a pretty dramatic impact on how easy it is to make those decisions and how hard it is to make those decisions. I think that's why people are going to be tuning in tomorrow night to this debate. People who are not traditionally interested in this, actually, in a lot of ways, they're repulsed by this. Now, I don't get paid anything to show up to this debate tomorrow night. It's not a financial decision for me to understand that I made a commitment to go to this debate party and that's where I'm going to be. It's the right thing to do, because Americans, even moms and dads out there, are going to be paying attention to how this presidential election shakes out, because it's not easy to be a parent in the United States of America today. Everything costs more. You've got to look over your kids more. You've got to make sure that if you're sending them to a taxpayer-funded, publicly educated classroom, that you know what they're learning about. It doesn't mean you're going to stop what they're learning about necessarily, but you've got to be able to be aware of what influences might have found their way into the classrooms with your kids. And you've got to parent alongside of that, even when the educators in those classrooms are told that, yeah, you can have secrets with those kids. Don't tell the parents if the child wants to identify as something else. You do not tell the parent that. Do you know that in the state of Illinois that's happening? Do you know that in the state of Illinois, if a child, I'm not even talking like high school, I'm talking younger than that. If a child goes to a teacher and says, yeah, my name is Samantha, but I'd like to go by Sam, and I'd like for you to refer to me as a he now. Teacher can't, in many districts, divulge that to the parents when they sit down. Maybe that kid is struggling. Maybe the parents know that the child is struggling academically, and maybe the parents confide into the teacher, yeah, we've had these types of struggles at home. The teacher cannot reveal that information that has been confided into the teacher, can't reveal to the parents. The only way that you protect a secret like that is if you feel like it's dangerous to tell the parents. Think about that for a second. That's wild. Or as they say on the internet, my least favorite phrase, let that sink in. It's like, I don't need time. I got it the first time. So you may be saying, Annie, our kids are safe in our classrooms. You're on one today. That's not something we need to worry about. Our kids are fine in the classrooms. There's nothing wrong there. Okay, well, I disagree. I invest and sacrifice financially to send my kids to a school where religion is the first class that they acknowledge, or prayer is how you open the school day. It's important to us. It's worth the financial sacrifice for us, and I think it is absolutely worth looking into if you're looking for an alternative for your kid. And it's really unfortunate that the Democrats in America want to hinder people of lower means. from being able to choose the school that their kids go to. I don't understand why the Democrats are for that. But if you say, Annie, no, the kids are safe in school, you're wrong there. Let me ask you about your kids playing at the playground. You dropping your kids off at the playground and tell them you'll be back in an hour? Are you letting your kids get on their bike and show up hours later after they've driven all around town like you used to do when you were a kid? Do you drop your kids off at the mall and tell them, I'll pick you up in a few hours after you run some errands? I don't. I won't. Do you know the names of the young girls who have been raped, strangled, murdered, dumped into the river because they were in the wrong place at the wrong time? While these people are coming across the southern border and they know they're in the right place at the right time, at least for them, because they've been welcomed in. That's the policy in this country. Make no mistake about it. There are 400 people in this country that we don't know who they are and where they are, who are suspected to have been ushered in to this country through a human trafficking ring that is overseen by ISIS. You letting your kid go stay at the playground by themselves for an unsupervised amount of time like you did when you were a child? I'm not. When you go to fill up gas into your car, when you go to pull the minivan up or the pickup truck up and you put the pump into the gas tank, you feel good about that? I recall being at a gas station probably halfway through Trump's term, and gas was under $2 a gallon at the time. And I think I filled up my car for about $30. And I remember being like, this is wild. And I remember thinking the opportunity that my family would have to pile in the car and go somewhere because we could afford it easily. It wouldn't be punitive to our checkbook. That type of thing matters. If you're somebody who lives in a suburban or a rural area and you're driving to and from work and you've got to drive 50 miles a day, does it matter to you that gas is $4 a gallon now? Does it matter to you that if you're in a situation like I'm in, live in Illinois, work in Missouri, that you have to balance the dangers of getting gas in downtown St. Louis? And before you're like, Annie, St. Louis is safe. I've literally had my car stolen from my hands pumping gas at 4 p.m. in this city. So I got this one. I have to balance the dangers of filling my gas tank up at the pump in St. Louis with the punitive overtaxation of the supermajority of Democrats in Illinois. I have to make that decision every day. And it always kind of shocks me when I'm getting gas in Missouri thinking, not Missouri, but specifically downtown St. Louis, I'm thinking, I'm kind of taking a risk here. How much money am I really saving? Like, what is this worth? You compound it filling up 1.5 times a week, it adds up. But like, what is the risk worth? These are not thoughts you have as a parent, as an employee. These are not thoughts you have when gas is $30 to fill up your tank. But they're thoughts that you have right now. We live in a world where people who are employees, who are parents, who are just good citizens of their community, everywhere you go, you've got to have your head on a swivel because things aren't working for you. It's not easy right now. And, maybe you're going to say, Annie, well, it wasn't like easy when Donald Trump was in office. I challenge you to compare prices, to look at inflation, to see where inflation skyrocketed after Joe Biden took office. Look at the decisions that Joe Biden made when it comes to energy in this country on day one. Number one priority was to work actively against your ability to have affordable energy. It's because he knows better. Everything that you're experiencing right now that is not as good as it was 4 years ago, these are active decisions that are made by Joe Biden and the Democrats who initially had control of the whole schmo. And if you don't like it, you're just wrong. You haven't come to the right conclusion yet. Tomorrow night, Joe Biden is going to have to make the case that these 4 years that he has been the president of the United States are better for you than you can even understand. He's going to have to persuade you to set aside what you know to be your lived experience in Joe Biden's America and say that if Donald Trump were to be elected president in November, that the whole thing would come crumbling down because democracy will die. You're going to have to listen to Joe Biden explain why his economic positions are actually pushing us in a direction that is better for you, and it's better for everybody. And yeah, it might be painful, but this is what we got to go through to get where we need to be. Do you believe him? Because before you hear him make his sale, make sure you know 100% what it's like to live in Joe Biden's America. And it doesn't take any time to assess that reflection. Many, many, many people are struggling. Many people who shouldn't be struggling, who are making a solid middle-class existence, realize, I don't have much room for error. You feel blessed. You like your job. You're well paid. You live within your means, but why is it not easier? Why is it not simpler to put some dollars in a savings account, to invest something into your retirement, a little bit more? It should be easier now because you were doing well, and now it's too painful. There's too much of a struggle. You've got to understand that anytime anything breaks in your house, the inflation prices on the appliances you're going to have to replace, the car stuff you're going to have to do, everything costs so much more, and it snowballs. To this point tomorrow night, at the debate where Joe Biden is going to tell you that you're wrong about what you feel about your existence in Joe Biden's America. And Donald Trump is going to have to sell to you that he's got the policies to get everything back on track. Who are you going to believe? Are you going to believe the politicians who are trying to sell something to you? Or are you going to listen to your own lived experience? Because that will probably answer the question itself. The YouTube live chat poll for today, it's a piggyback off of yesterday's poll. Yesterday we asked, is Donald Trump a good man? Today we ask, is Joe Biden a good man? We want to know what you think. You go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel, leave your vote right there, leave a comment if you so choose, and we'll highlight some of them over the course of the show. Kurt says, no, there isn't enough room in the comments to list reasons. Also, the only way he's not the most evil, worst president in history is if Obama is really pulling the strings. Well, that's a resounding no answer. Do you agree with Kurt? Or do you think, you know what, he's a terrible president, but he's a pretty good man? You go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel and let us know. When we return, Caroline Sunshine coming onto the Annie Fry Show, the Deputy Director of Communications at Donald J. Trump for President on the Annie Fry Show in just a minute.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan, 314-324-4440. That number that I tell you basically every day, that number is a direct line to Stewie. He has a bagel loan. He's the only person who has the bagel loan. And when you work with Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage, you're going to get access to the bagel loan once you qualify for it. No closing costs. I have refinanced twice with the bagel loan because back in, I don't know, what was it, maybe like 2019 and 2020 or 2018 and 2020, I don't know. Initially purchased the house in 2015, and then rates continued to drop. And he's like, Annie, you should be doing this too. And I was like, you're right. I absolutely should. I have a great rate now. I locked it in because I listened to him. He's going to give you the same great advice. If rates have come down since you recently purchased your home, don't miss the opportunity to save on that interest rate by getting a new loan refinanced there with Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan. 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440. Google the Bagel Loan, NMLS number 226715.
If you're ready to improve the look and the thermal efficiency of your house, I've got a great deal for you. Mark Cox here. My friends at Window World are now offering 36 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. That is a fantastic way to get your job done and start taking advantage of the savings in thermal efficiency as we head into these hot summer months. You're going to love working with Window World. I am a satisfied customer. I've got 2 of their windows in my house now, and they're beautiful. They're perfect. I have a lifetime warranty that covers all the parts, the glass breakage, the labor. You will love working with Window World because it's not a high-pressure sales pitch. They come, they show you what they have to offer, and they would love to do business with you, but they're not going to stand there and pressure you to do that business. Check them out with the Better Business Bureau and other reporting agencies. They have an excellent track record. Call my friends today at Window World, 314-993-1800 or windowworld.com.
Hello, Mike Carter here. I wonder if you knew that after the purchase of the Louisiana Territory in 1804, a formal 3-flag ceremony was held in St. Louis to mark the transfer. The Spanish flag lowered and the French tricolor raised. That in turn was lowered the next day and the flag of the young Republic of the United States stood tall. I'm Mike Carter of Carter Law Offices here, and at that moment the people living here went from being subjects to being citizens of a great free nation. Jump ahead 220 years to what we have become, and over 6 million men, women, and children now call Missouri home. Our largest cities are an economic powerhouse, and our small towns and family farms remain the heart of the nation. A friend wrote me one time at Carter Law Offices, "Hey, Mike Carter, why don't Missouri residents show their pride by flying our state flag more often like the folks in Texas?" I was like, that's a really great idea. And I was thinking, maybe anybody who's listening to this, if you want to send me an email at mike@carterlegal.com with your name and address if you're okay doing so, and I'll send you a free state flag, and you can hang it out on your front porch and show everybody you're as proud of Missouri as I am.
Are you worried about market volatility in this election year? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 38 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Get in your comfort zone with double carrier cool cash rebates up to $4,200 and 0% financing up to 72 months on a new HVAC system. For details and a free estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
It's finally here. Donald Trump and Joe Biden together in one room.
Nobody thought he was going to debate. They didn't think I'd accept it. I accept.
Thursday night, the presidential debate. Keep it here on 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Fry Show. You're listening to the Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
I think both President Trump and President Biden are going to show up ready. They're going to show up prepared. I think that they're going to be serious and focused. I mean, this is as highest stakes as it gets. Maybe the stakes now are higher than they've ever been. So I would expect both presidents to show up prepared.
Well, there you have Lee Zeldin. I respect Lee Zeldin a whole lot, especially a guy like Lee Zeldin as a Republican running to be the governor of New York, and me living across the river here in St. Louis in Illinois. Oh, gosh, a girl could dream. We're talking about Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Expectations for Joe Biden arguably are significantly low to the point where maybe they couldn't be lower. But a lot of people are saying now that Joe Biden's going to show up and he's going to be ready to play. Let's ask our next guest. Excited to have Caroline Sunshine on the show with us. She is the Deputy Director of Communications at Donald J. Trump for President. Caroline, thank you for being here with us today. It's an honor to have you here.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm so excited for tomorrow. I mean, for nerds, I'm just going to put you in the nerd category here with me, where I proudly sit. Tomorrow night is a big, big, big evening.
It is a big evening, and it's not just a big evening for us political nerds, right? It's a really big evening for our country. You know, I think sadly under Joe Biden, our country is more and more looking like a banana republic. But you know, I know a lot of Americans, myself included, do still cherish our First Amendment rights, even though I do believe they're under assault. When you look at, for example, President Trump having to endure an unconstitutional gag order from a highly conflicted judge who's infringing on his First Amendment rights, but this is really important, right? We don't do things by coronation in the United States. I think Joe Biden behaves like a tyrant in many ways. But look, Joe Biden still does have to show up on that debate stage. He does have to not only stand for 90 minutes, which I hear, yes, is perhaps going to be a challenge for him, but he's going to have to stand by his record. So, yes, we are looking forward to this. It's a good night, or it's a great night for not just, like you said, us political nerds. It's a great night for our country.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. We're speaking with Caroline Sunshine with the Donald J. Trump for President campaign. I appreciate that there's two different expectations that exist out here, one for Joe Biden, of course, and one for Donald Trump. And the expectation for Joe Biden, the question people have is, can he make it through the debate? What a low standard. But I don't think people know a whole lot of what to make about what Trump is going to do in this debate. And everyone on the left keeps going like, oh, there are different Trumps that could show up. Is he going to be angry and combative? What do you think that we're going to see from Donald Trump tomorrow night when he gets to speak to such a large portion of our country?
Yeah, well, I think this is where President Trump is actually at his best. You know, I mean, I won't get ahead of President Trump. He's his own man. And, you know, unlike Joe Biden, we don't have to coddle him and cloister him away at a retreat and over-advise this man. President Trump is a leader. We take our cues from him, not the other way around. And President Trump is somebody who I think one thing voters really love about him, in addition to his excellent policy record, but something they love about him is that he is who he is, and he says what he's going to say, and he speaks the truth. And some people might find that to be politically incorrect or whatever, but it's really what millions of Americans love about him. And I think it's why they're looking forward to tuning in and watching him. Look, President Trump agreed to debate anytime, any place, anywhere. This debate is being held on CNN. We don't obviously expect a fair fight. We expect certainly maybe a three-on-one dynamic. I don't think Joe Biden, for example, would have ever agreed to a debate on Fox News, but President Trump is going to show up and he's going to speak the truth about his record. And he has a great record. And, you know, this is another thing that's important about this debate is that this is the first time in, I believe, over a century that the American people have an opportunity to compare two former presidents and their records back to back. And President Trump, you know, under President Trump, we had the most secure border in U.S. history. We had an economy that was working for all Americans, where gas was $1.69 and inflation was at 1.9%, and the American dream still felt real and alive and attainable for people. We had peace deals being signed in the Middle East. Our enemies were in check. Our allies were paying their fair share. We were respected on the world stage. Under Joe Biden, we've seen the worst border crisis in U.S. history. We have war in the Middle East and in Europe with no end in sight. China, Russia, Iran are running amok. We're not respected on the world stage. And we have an economy where, frankly, Joe Biden has made Jimmy Carter look like a lightweight. So President Trump intends to speak the truth about his record. He also intends to speak the truth about the issues that are most important to the American people, which we know are inflation, the economy, and immigration. President Trump's ideas are extremely popular on those issues with the American people. For example, a majority of Americans want mass deportations for illegal immigrants. 62% of Americans want that. They don't want mass amnesties. President Trump has said on day one, I'm going to launch the largest criminal deportation in our country's history. I'll work with law enforcement to do it. So President Trump, that's what you can expect to see from him on that debate stage. He's going to speak the truth about his record and speak the truth about what he's going to do on behalf of the American people.
We are speaking with the Deputy Director of Communications at Donald J. Trump for President, Caroline Sunshine, with us right now. I think that a lot of voters out there right now, they think that they know who Donald Trump is. There's been a ton of time and money and effort involved in trying to make Donald Trump seem like Satan incarnate. And I think that has waned over the course of the 4 years where people realized that the person who was the alternative to Donald Trump has made it much harder to live in the United States of America. And I'm wondering, in an instance like tomorrow night, And I assume that you know Donald Trump to certainly at a level of that I don't know him. Is there a side of Donald Trump that America has yet to see or understand?
I think there's a side to President Trump that the mainstream media refuses to cover. I think the American people see it, but I think there's a side to President Trump that the mainstream media, because he is such a threat to both the political and media ecosystem in this country, they knowingly refuse to cover. I think President Trump has said it best. They're not after me, they're after you. I'm just in the way. I think in a culture of lies, which is what we have in this country, certainly in our mainstream media ecosystem, I think in a culture of lies, telling the truth is an act of treason. I think it's why this system has been so hostile to President Trump. But no, I think the American people actually, they actually do see President Trump for all his many wonderful qualities. President Trump is a man of deep compassion, but he's also a man of action. For example, Rachel Morin, a mother of 5, was allegedly killed by an illegal immigrant who should have never been in our country from El Salvador. She now leaves behind 5 young children who are growing up without a mother. President Trump was fortunate enough to speak with her mother this past week. And I say fortunate because that's exactly how President Trump feels. He feels like it's an honor to get to speak with her mother, to listen to her, to hear about Rachel's life. He's genuinely interested in the American people. He loves spending time with them. He's funny and he's brave. And I think it's why you're seeing President Trump against all odds. You look at everything the media and the Democrats and Joe Biden have tried to throw at this man. They really can't stand that he is so beloved by the American people. They just can't stand it. No matter what they try to do, it just doesn't stick. It doesn't work. So, yes, there are many sides to President Trump that the mainstream media refuses to cover, but that the American people very much see. And it's why you're seeing him go up in the polls in battleground states across this country, actually.
Yeah, and even like when we talk about battleground states and swing states, they're adding states to the list that are actually even qualified as swing states, which is always fun to see. We're speaking with Caroline Sunshine, the Deputy Director of Communications at Donald J. Trump for President. One of the questions that was brought up yesterday on this show, a lot of listeners were asking this, and I anticipate that the first question that Donald Trump is going to be asked is if he believes that the 2020 election was a fair and free one. What do you expect to hear from the president, or what is the position of the president on that question? Because he is, as you articulated earlier, it's going to be a 3-on-1, so to speak. You get that question out the gate, and I think a lot rests on how he chooses to address it.
Sure. Well, I won't get ahead of President Trump. Like I said, President Trump is his own man, and I will let him speak directly to the American people. But I will say, CNN, I might add, should ask, I can tell you what their first question to Joe Biden should be. They should, if CNN has no credibility with the American people, let's be honest. I mean, you saw, I assume your listeners saw, as I know millions of Americans did, just the other day, CNN's Casey Hunt, who is a total lightweight, censored my colleague, Caroline Levitt, because she was simply sharing the truth. I mean, CNN was so triggered by the truth. Sharing the truth about one of the moderators of this debate, Jake Tapper, and his history of anti-Trump remarks. So my advice to CNN, if you want to recover a shred of credibility with the American people, you should ask Joe Biden. Joe Biden, can you tell us why you lied about knowing that the laptop from hell was not indeed Russian information, like the 51 U.S. intelligence officials told us that your campaign colluded with? Will you tell us, sir, why you lied about that and why you now have to admit that that laptop from hell, in fact, wasn't Russian disinformation? In fact, it was entered as evidence into your son, Hunter Biden's trial. Can you tell us that, sir? And I'll be shocked to see what Joe Biden has to say on that.
Yeah, I don't know how. I think the loving father is going to be the prevailing anything that has to do with Hunter, and then they're going to make a play to make it just about addiction, which is really not at all what Hunter Biden was.
But it's not right. It's not about that. Like you said, the issue about the laptop from hell is that Joe Biden and his campaign and the American media knowingly lied to the American people about the laptop from hell, claiming that a laptop that is very real was Russian disinformation.
Yeah.
That's blatant election interference.
Yeah.
That is something that neither of them have had to answer to the American people, right? That's what it's about.
Yep. I mean, you can see how the politics play out in this. And the question is, which of these two men tomorrow night who have had the chance to have their hands at 10-2 on the steering wheel of this country, Americans know the difference of living in Donald Trump's America and Joe Biden's America. And I'm hoping to see from each of them to defend their record. And I certainly think Donald Trump has a better record to defend than Joe Biden.
Absolutely. And that's the thing is the American people are so smart. And President Trump actually treats the American people, I think, with such respect and love. And it's why he gets that same respect and love back. I think he gets such a level of love actually back from the American people that it genuinely frustrates the American media and the Democrats that they're not beloved the same way, right? Like they just can't figure it out. They can't figure out why they're not liked the same way that he is. But part of it is because President Trump is willing to go into the most hostile of places and not only defend his record, but he goes in there to defend the American people, right? I mean, the American people every day deal with the BS that the mainstream media feeds them, the way that they paint, half of this country as a basket of deplorables. I mean, they get so much BS shoved down their throat all day long from every mainline institution in this country. They look at President Trump as somebody who stands up for them, right? He's like the defender on the playground that says, hey, knock it off. You can't treat people like this, right?
Yep. So
that's part of his appeal. And that's what I expect him to do on this debate stage, is stand up for his record, but also stand up just for the American people.
Yeah. And the thing I appreciate the most about the way you are explaining the message there from the Trump campaign is you're not dividing those people up, because the American people, it's an umbrella that covers every skin color, every religion, every race, every economic class. That's the beauty of America, is that we're all very different people, but we get to share those same American values. And we won't say the same thing from the other side, I'm sure. Caroline Sunshine, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you for giving us some of your time this afternoon.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, would look forward to having you back again sometime soon. Deputy Director of Communications at Donald J. Trump for President. Excited to speak with her at CSunshine on X. Go tell her hi and hello. Thank her for coming on the show with us, if you so choose. The Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll: is Joe Biden a good man? Yes or no? Votes are coming in, folks, and the comments are as well. If you want to weigh in on this question, make sure you go to the Annie Fry YouTube. And on our live broadcast for today, the chat portion is where you'll find the live chat poll. That's why we call it that. You can leave a vote. That is an anonymous vote. You can also leave a comment. That'll be whatever your handle is. You got to subscribe to comment on the poll. Dirk said, I chose yes. I think he tries to be a good man. Do you guys agree with Dirk or the previous comment that I read? Let us know what you think. Go vote in the Annie Fry YouTube channel. And when we come back, Wiggins America, an update on food news. Of course, it's Wednesday. We'll be right back. Air Comfort Service, aircomfortservice.com. Okay, it's a little bit cooler today than it was the days preceding because it was blazing hot, like a fiery hell here in St. Louis, but you're used to that. It's the way it goes in the summers in St. Louis. That's why you need to have somebody who's regularly checking up on your AC unit to make sure that when it does get super hot, you don't have to be one of those people who's calling at the last minute going, oh my gosh, it's 82 degrees in this house and it's getting warmer. They'll come out and help you, 314-513-0091. They'll be there to guide you through that. But you can sign up for monthly maintenance plans with Air Comfort Service to make sure that you're always in good working order. Now, if you get to the place where you do need to replace that HVAC system, I've been there. I've been there actually with Air Comfort Service myself. Make sure that when you reach out to 314-513-0091, you ask about their double carrier cool cash rebates, up to $4,200 that you can save on qualifying systems. Add to that, qualifying for 0% financing up to 72 months. You might even be eligible for utility rebates and tax credits too. Call the people I trust in my home, with my family, and with our house, 314-513-0091. It's Air Comfort Service, online at aircomfortservice.com.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/free. Ramp.com/free. ramp.com/free.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
This station is now conducting a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
Too often we lose sight of how fortunate we are to live in Missouri. When I travel out of state on business, people say, Mike Carter, what's so special about Missouri? Well, let's start with the mighty Mississippi and Missouri rivers traversing the state. They were the superhighways of the day, used by French fur trappers and traders. Later, American settlers like Daniel Boone and waves of pioneers drove their teams and wagons along the Boone's Lick Trail he blazed. Carter Law Offices, right now, founded by me, Mike Carter, started and is on Boone's Lick Trail, near where those intrepid settlers crossed the Missouri to harness the land. Rich soils and generations of farm families like my own grandparents made Missouri the breadbasket of America. Drive a few minutes outside our cities and towns, and you'll find yourself passing miles and miles of undulating wheat and corn, farms and ranches that feed our nation. I'm Mike Carter, and I'm proud to live and work in the Show Me State, a place God blessed just a little bit more. Go to MikeCarter.com to see more about our great state of Missouri.
Summertime is crazy time for families, and nobody can go without hot water. If you're in need of a water heater, all you have to do is send a picture of your water heater to Beast Plumbing for an estimate and same-day replacements. Call 314-500-LEAK and tell them Bo sent you to Beast Plumbing.
Is Joe Biden a good man? Yes or no? It's today's Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. Let us know what you think. And, of course, just like yesterday when we asked if Trump was a good man, let us know in the comments why you think Joe Biden either is or isn't. It is 12:47. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Who are you voting for in the Missouri governor's primary? Join me, Annie Fry, for the Republican Governors Forum on July 11th. Register for this free event presented by the Republican Central Committee of St. Louis County at 971talk.com/events.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Wiggins! Oh! Wiggins! Hello there, Annie, and hello, Brad.
Hello, Ryan.
Hi, Ryan.
You guys like eating, don't you?
Not as much as you.
Too much.
Nah, yeah, not as much as me. You're right. I love eating. That's why I'm doing food news today, and it's a lot of the kind of food I like to eat.
You're doing it for you.
Yeah, really. This is Wiggins America for Wiggins.
It's kind of lunchtime, so you might be doing some people some service.
Yeah, and there is some stuff in here that you may want to know, especially if you're eating a little bit of a late
I
lunch.
love that your promo for this segment is there may be some stuff in here that you might want to know.
Well, for lunch today. I think all of this is stuff you want to know. But if we're catching you for a late lunch, we may really benefit you.
Okay.
First one is about Starbucks. It says Starbucks is being urged to brew up ways to expedite wait times. The coffee roaster reported plummeting profits for the first time in years last quarter as the company faced both boycotts and inflation. But they say that one of the biggest reasons is that people are turning away from Starbucks because they're just having to wait too long in the lines. This, to me, is my number one reason for not going to Starbucks.
I just go to Scooters.
I was going to say, Scooters has better coffee and faster lines.
It is kind of weird how fast their lines are. Granted, when I start saying my order, they stop in me and sometimes say, "Hi, Annie." That's true. It's a true statement.
No, when we have a choice, now I really like Starbucks chai, so I like going there and getting the drink. But between, we have a Starbucks and a Scooters both in our town, like many do now. And I pretty much am choosing Scooters every time because it's just so fast. I like their chai too, but even when you see a line, it's gonna get you out of it pretty quick, and you can't say that about Starbucks. Sometimes they're okay, but sometimes they're not. But Scooters every time, I'm like, well, I know how long that's gonna take. So I pretty much every time am choosing Scooters these days too. Kind of being a homer. Next one. This is really,
It's also nice to go get coffee and just get coffee.
Yeah.
and not have to worry about all the other stuff.
Feeling bad about yourself
Mhm.
for not being a good person. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
Anyway.
There is a candy bar that people are saying is the best candy bar in the world. This is a milk chocolate bar filled with crispy kanafa. This is a Middle Eastern pastry, pistachio cream, and tahini spread. $20 for this chocolate bar. And you have to travel to Dubai to get it.
Okay.
Now, the reason this is making news is because apparently people are traveling to Dubai to get this chocolate bar. It's an online trend.
No. People aren't. At best, influencers are. And that's because they're bored.
Yes. But wouldn't you like to be that kind of bored?
No.
I kind of would.
I wouldn't have to be like, I got to chase the next thing. I'm going to get a candy bar in Dubai. I would rather go to Edwardsville. Quick Trip.
Get a candy bar.
Be like, I would like a Kit Kat.
I have great news for you.
Mhm.
You can do that.
I do. I've never gone to Quick Trip for a candy bar, but I have gone to Quick Trip for like a soda.
Yeah. Well, $20 seems like it's on the high side for a candy bar anyway.
And Dubai seems like it's on the high side for a candy bar.
Yeah, but to me, the travel cost is probably the biggest expense with that one.
Mm.
Now, I said I was going to get to some menu items here for your lunch. If you're eating a late lunch, I'm really glad you stuck around because this is where it gets really good.
They're just sitting in their car waiting. They're hungry.
And I can tell you,
for it.
I went and did some field research on this today to make sure
You
that
ate lunch.
it was valid.
You ate lunch.
I did. And I went to McDonald's. The $5 meal has launched. It is there, and it is a pretty good value. What do you get for it? Well, you get a choice between McDouble and McChicken.
What are you picking?
I'm McDouble every time.
I think I'm going McDouble.
Duh.
Yeah, right?
I don't know about that McChicken.
I don't know about it either.
It's a mix something.
I've eaten it before. I would eat it again, but McDouble
I've
every
eaten
time.
it before.
Yeah.
It's not like it was a fantastic decision.
Nah, you
If
never
I'm
like,
eating a
"Ooh,
chicken
McChicken."
sandwich, we've gone over this before. When I go to the drive-thru and I don't know, I'm like, is it a whole white meat chicken breast? And that one lady laughed at me and goes, I don't know. And I was like, I think we do.
Yeah, I think that's your answer.
I think I know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But you get one of those two, McDouble or McChicken, plus small fries, plus a 4-piece chicken nuggets, and a small soft drink.
What's with the nuggets in there? You don't need nuggets in there.
Yeah, you do,
No, you
Annie.
don't.
It's value added. $5, and you get 4 items. I think this is a pretty good deal.
You're
I
such
like
a
the meal.
sucker.
Oh, I absolutely am. $5 for that. I'm like, I think this is day one, and I was there.
Is that value? Is that a good price for that meal?
It's not bad if you consider the drink being $1.
What's the soda size?
The McDouble being $2. It's pretty small. I got to say that. It's like their smallest cup they have is your soda.
And if you decide I'd like a large drink, it's now $10.
I'm sure they're upcharging you a couple more bucks for sure. But hey, you can also use the app. I think double down on this. You got to spend a little bit more to get to the threshold to use in the app.
Why don't you just read Ender's comment there on the YouTube Live?
Let me see. Ender. Wendy's has the same thing and a Frosty and just is way better. You know what, Ender? Let's go to my next story. Wendy's offers free Frosties and a $5 combo to take on McDonald's $5 meal deal. There you go.
This is what capitalism is.
Isn't it great?
And I'll tell you what, if you want to listen to the Biden administration talk about how Bidenomics is good, they're not really saying it anymore because it's not working. But they are trying to explain, this is the line, folks. This is the rip and read Democrat talking points line. We have the best economy in the world right now. We're doing the best compared to ever. Well, who cares if it still sucks? Like, I don't care if we're the skinniest kid at fat camp. I don't want to worry about what everybody else is doing. We should be Americaing as hard as we possibly freaking can so that we are the envy of the world, and it gives us the power and authority in all sorts of different ways to make sure that we're taking care of our own. So the current Democrat talking point is we're doing better than everybody else. Well, if everybody else is in the can, then I don't really care to be judging myself relative to that. If you look at marketing right now, all of these big brands, McDonald's and Wendy's, but broader than that, value and deals are bigger than they've ever been. Saving money is bigger than it's ever been. That's how you know that it's gone far enough that companies are using the in thing, which is your financial struggles. That's the thing that we all collectively together, hand in hand, understand. They're using that to sell you things. You could see the same thing years ago with all the virtue signaling woke stuff, whatever the current du jour woke thing was that was the most heartstring tugging. That's what they used to sell you stuff. And then when people stop buying it, then they kind of have to shift away from it. Right now, the thing is, your finances suck. Let's figure out how we can get the most of them.
And they're all doing it because it's not just those two. It's Burger King's doing a $5 Your Way meal, very, very similar, where you can pick one of 3 sandwiches with nuggets and fries and a soft drink. Did a little field research again on the Wendy's.
How many burgers did you eat today?
Not today. On the Wendy's Berry Frosty, as the French say, magnifique. So it has a certain je ne sais quoi that you really can't
say French fry.
No, I did eat some of those too. I also had their saucy nuggets, which are basically just regular nuggets in a bunch of sauce. But I just want to let you know about all those deals.
Saucy nuggets? Another name for your act.
Only when I'm wearing really short shorts.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's 3 shows in one. Does cold turkey open or close?
Oh, cold turkey's last.
Saucy nuggets.
He's taking you home.
Oh, Deroy, I'm so sorry. We'll talk to you next.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Marvin Mitchell and the team at Compass Retirement Solutions calls this mailbox money. It's a monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Marvin Mitchell and the Compass Retirement Solutions team at 314-373-1598 to start working on a plan that can help you create the monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call 314-373-1598 right now and schedule a visit with Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
You know, there's a sign I keep in my office that reads, "Remember where you came from." Well, Mike Carter here of Carter Law Offices. We all remember where we grew up, the schools we attended, and the streets we played on, and the friends we made. The Carter family has deep roots in Missouri. There was a Civil War captain from St. Charles County who became sheriff of Lincoln County. My own grandparents had a farm down in Carter County where I spent a couple boyhood summers riding a pig, to and fro. For myself, Mike Carter, I was raised in North County, and before you ask, I went to Hazelwood West High School. Growing up, my parents taught me that if I studied and worked hard, good things were sure to follow. And like many of you, I went to Mizzou, working my way through college, bussing tables, driving for UPS. Then I graduated law school, founded Carter Law Offices, and serve now as a municipal judge and general counsel of the largest employer in St. Charles County. But I never forget North County, where I came from, and the people and places that we all remember that make us who we are. Go to MikeCarter.com and check out some interviews from some other people across the great state of Missouri.
When you have Rhino Shield on your house, it does a couple of things for you. It beautifies the house, and it protects it from the harshest elements. And boy, do we see those here in the greater St. Louis area. You get instant curb appeal. It will stick to anything. Rhino Shield is the answer, no matter whether you're painting a home or a church or a business or a condo, because it's 100% waterproof. It takes care of the outdoor maintenance on whatever is on the outside of your home. The brick, the block, aluminum, steel, stucco. They can put this on with the 2 to 3 coat process. They're there about a week, and they do a great job. A lot of businesses have done it in the area. Several Firestones have done that. Vantage Credit Union over the years. Harlan Packaging down in DeSoto. Call Darren today and schedule your free estimate. 877-25-RHINO. Easy to remember phone number. Or go online today at 877-25rhino.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Still on Undecided. I'm Therese Crowley, Fox News. The Supreme Court with end-of-term rulings leaves an important issue dangling. How far can the Biden administration go curbing social media posts on controversial issues like COVID and election security? The High Court ruling 6-3 that Republican-led states didn't have standing to bring the case.
5 individuals and 2 states said their First Amendment rights were violated when their social media posts relating to COVID were restricted or removed. A federal appeals court found that when government entities and officials told social media companies to make certain content moderation decisions, those decisions were transformed into state action. But the U.S. Supreme Court says those individuals and states lack standing to sue here. The majority opinion says those suing aren't trying to stop the platforms from restricting any posts or accounts. Instead, they're trying to stop government officials from pressuring platforms to suppress speech in the future. And that because they're only seeking changes moving forward, their past claims of censorship injury are much less relevant.
Still to be decided, Donald Trump's appeal to preserve presidential immunity for all future presidents against lawsuits over actions they took while in office. Countdown to the CNN first presidential debate tomorrow. Fox's Jeff Paul on debate prep from Trump country, West Palm Beach, Florida.
A Trump campaign advisor who tells us that the former president is right here at his house in Palm Beach, Mar-a-Lago. As far as what he's doing just the day before this first presidential debate in Georgia, well, they point to what the campaign has already said, that he's keeping up with his daily work schedule, and they point to the stark contrast between what President Biden is doing, saying that President Biden has been hiding for a week. Now, we know that President Biden right now is at Camp David, where he's been working with a bunch of advisors. Biden's team has been engaging in mock debates. President Biden's personal lawyer reportedly playing the role as Trump.
3 in 10 voters tell Fox debate performance will be extremely important for their November vote. America's listening to Fox News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. An important message about your timeshare from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. Contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about timeshare cancellation.
Call 800-653-1188. 800-653-1188.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go, shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The high heat is gone. Our high temperature this afternoon, 88 degrees with a steady drop in the humidity. Partly sunny skies. Tonight, clear and nice. Beautiful evening, 67 for the low. On Thursday, sunny and comfortable, 88. But the heat and humidity comes back Friday, especially in the afternoon. Stays with us Saturday, but cooler on Sunday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-699-1059. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-699-1059. That's 800-699-1059. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text LION to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text LION to 42424. That's LION to 42424.
Outdoor Living Redefined, brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design, your trusted partner in crafting stunning decks, inviting screened rooms, and elegant porch overhangs. Imagine enjoying a crisp morning coffee on your beautifully designed deck, or hosting gatherings in a spacious screened room. Lakeside turns your vision into reality. Our skilled craftsmen use top-notch materials to create spaces that stand up to the elements and stand out in style. Elevate your lifestyle with Lakeside's outdoor living expertise. Visit our showroom or call Lakeside Renovation and Design today.
Zero Res has the best deal of the summer for you right now. 3 rooms clean starting at $129 and take $50 off your air duct cleaning package. Call 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com.
The National Memorial of Military Ascent is on a mission to create a first-class Veterans Memorial Complex in Grafton, Illinois. Sue Thomas here. Conservatives Care is honoring our veterans. Learn more at 971talk.com/care.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
We need a president who doesn't see black or white. We see a president who sees Americans as one American family. We need. And that's why I came to the very warm state of New Hampshire to endorse the next president of these United States, President Donald Trump.
I need a Senator Tim Scott, like wake up alarm on in my bedroom so that when I wake up, Tim Scott pumps me up to get ready for the day. Wouldn't that be great? Don't you love to hear the enthusiasm and the joy that Tim Scott exudes, regardless of the attacks that are thrown at him and the judgments that are made about him? Well, the reason why I play that clip is because we're wondering who the vice president pick is going to be. And there's a suggestion out there that maybe Donald Trump is going to reveal that potentially tomorrow with the debate. He said that the VP pick will be at the debate. He said he knows who the pick is, but he hasn't told anyone else. I cannot wait to hear what Deroy Murdock thinks about this very important part of the Republican ticket. Nationally syndicated columnist and Fox News contributor, Deroy Murdock, back with us today. Welcome back, Deroy. Good to have you.
Hi, Annie. Great to talk to you.
You as well. What do you think about the vice presidential appointment that Donald Trump needs to make? I have a feeling you've got some thoughts on this.
Believe it or not, I do. I think looking at all the folks who are on this very talented and skillful and deep bench, I think the candidate who would be best for him as a running mate, as a governing mate, is Senator Tim Scott, who you just mentioned. He has a lot to offer as somebody who has experience in the U.S. House, experience in the U.S. Senate. I think he'd be very helpful in terms of using those contacts and experiences to get the America First agenda through the second Trump administration, should they be elected. I also think he will solidify and amplify the movement of blacks and Hispanics and other minorities to supporting Trump and the GOP. That's running about 20%. I think having a black man on the ticket will solidify that 20% and probably add to it. I wouldn't be surprised if 25, 30, even 35% of the black population, black electorate ends up supporting Trump Scott 2024 if he's on the ticket. And in fact, there's a very interesting poll that came out from Harvard, Harvard-Harris. They interviewed 1,600 voters and determined that Tim Scott is the only potential running mate of the 7 about which they asked would make people more likely to support Trump. Basically, ask him, are you more likely or less likely to support Trump if so-and-so is on the ticket? And for Tim Scott, it was a net result of +6. So he increases the likelihood of voting for Trump by 6%, which is a big number. Vivek Ramaswamy and Marco Rubio, 0. Flat, no response, no net effect. Tulsi Gabbard, -1. Doug Burgum, about which we've heard plenty, he's -6. Not a very positive number at all. Well, also at best, if you add him on, North Dakota's a big whopping 3 electoral votes. So it doesn't really help as far as the electoral college, not much, 267 down, 3 down, 267 to go. Kristi Noem, canine killer Kristi Noem, -7. And I was very surprised by the response to Elise Stefanik, the congresswoman from upstate New York, who's about late 30s, early 40s, young suburban mom, et cetera. Her result in this poll is -11. So Trump would drop 11 points if Elise Stefanik were on the ticket, to my surprise. Another thing that bodes well for Scott is how he has outperformed other Republicans when he's been on statewide ballots in South Carolina. In 2014, Lindsey Graham ran for re-election, as did Nikki Haley for governor. Lindsey Graham got 54.3% of the vote, about 56 for Nikki Haley. Tim Scott got 61.
Wow.
In 2016, Tim Scott and Donald J. Trump were on the ballot simultaneously. Trump got about 55, Tim Scott about 61. And in 2022, just a couple years ago, Henry McMaster ran for, I think re-election for governor. He got 58% of the vote. Tim Scott got almost 63%. So he's able to take whatever the GOP vote is for these otherwise wider, in the case of Nikki Haley, Indian American background, and then do another 3, 4, 5% on top of that. And if he can do that in the polls nationwide on November 5 and take whatever Trump's support is and add another 3, 4, 5%, I think that would lead to a very comfortable, if not fully landslide victory for the Trump-Scott 2024 ticket.
Well, I am completely unsurprised that you have put this amount of work and effort into bringing the receipts to advocate for Tim Scott. I mean, those numbers do speak for themselves. You made a comment there while you were going through these numbers about the percentage of the black vote that you were thinking that maybe Tim Scott would be able to help Donald Trump get. I want you to listen to this comment. This is just not even 2 weeks ago. A Biden campaign co-chair, his name's Mitch Landrieu, made this comment about the Trump ticket's ability to secure a black vote.
Well, first of all, it's going to be a very close election. Every one of them is. Secondly, there's no universe in which Donald Trump is going to get 21% of the black vote. That's never going to happen.
So there you have the Biden campaign saying there's literally not a universe where the Democrats and the Biden campaign feel that more than 4 out of 5 black people will even consider voting for Republicans. To me, what I hear is they feel like they've got that 80% locked in. Why would they ever work to earn the black vote if they think that black folks are just decided, well, I'm black, so I'm a Democrat? They've said it themselves.
Yeah, well, this is the Democrats' attitude, and basically what they do every 4 years, they show up and they tell black people, "Oh my God, got about Democrat, the Republicans come in, the Klan's coming back, slavery is returning, Jim Crow 2.0, et cetera," and then black folks show up, 85, 90% vote for the Democrats, and Democrats, on election night say, "Okay, thanks very much, see you in 4 years," and they turn their backs and walk away. And the crime continues in black neighborhoods. The black schools continue to perform very often and tragically below average. Same with things like economic development. And they just take black folks for granted. I think in this election, you're seeing a lot of black people saying, you know what, we don't need to be taken for granted, especially when you have Donald J. Trump showing up in Harlem, in the South Bronx, in Detroit. I believe he's in Philadelphia. He was in Philadelphia over the weekend. I think he's going to do some sort of an economic summit at a barbershop in Atlanta today. And this effort on the part of a Republican nominee to go out into black neighborhoods, I think a lot of people are very pleased to be asked politely, would you please support me? And, there will be a lot of black Democrats say no way, but, if 20, 25% of the black vote says, yes, thank you for asking, we will support you, the Democrats are pretty much done. They just can't have that big a chunk of their base disappear and still stay standing. And by the way, in 2020, 19%, 1 out of 5 black men supported Trump. So the idea of 21% is not out of the question. If he just maintains the 20% of the black male vote he got, or maybe that goes up a little bit, and picks up some more of the black female vote, he gets himself up in the high teens or in the 20s. And if that happens, it's pretty much lights out for the Democrat Party.
You know, I think here we're, of course, in St. Louis, and we have a diverse population. We have a high population of African Americans that live here on the Missouri side of the river, on the Illinois side of the river. So it's a diverse area. But it is also a segregated area in that it's always been the case here in St. Louis. And I think that that's something that we can celebrate diversity, but we also should do better about not being so segregated within our own communities. And I've had people from the Illinois side of the river and some of the more impoverished areas in this studio. They're black individuals, but they talk about how the Democrats only come around during campaign season, and they, at this point, don't even actually come around themselves. They send their surrogates. But they also point out that the Republicans never even show up. And it's such a frustration for me as a conservative myself to know that the Democrats aren't serving the needs of these communities. They're making promises that they don't pay off on. They just show up the next cycle to make the same promise. But Republicans historically have just written it off. Are you thinking that it's going to trickle down from Donald Trump's efforts to go to these places, that maybe the Republican Party will get with it and actually contest for the votes of people who are thinking for themselves?
Well, they should. And, I've said to people, I've made these remarks in speeches, articles on radio for decades now. Look, the response is, among Republicans, we're never going to win the black vote, so don't even try. Your goal shouldn't be to win the black vote. You're not going to get 100% of the black vote or 60% or 50% of the black vote. But again, if you knock on 10 doors in a black neighborhood and 8 out of 10 people tell you, get off my porch now, and the other 2 out of 10 say, thank you for asking, I'll support you at the polls on Tuesday. Guess what? You win the election. So the goal shouldn't be let's get 10 out of 10 people to support us. It should be let's get 2 or 3 out of 10 to support us. And if you just do that, because it is such a large portion of the Democrat base, if you remove that part of the base, the entire Democrat House of Cards, I'm mixing metaphors a bit, completely collapses. And GOP needs to understand that. And they have a very positive message to make about supporting school choice, about supporting minority entrepreneurship. President Trump has a great idea, which is not taxing tips. So if you're a black waiter or waitress or barber or Uber driver, you get your tips. You won't have to pay taxes on them. It's a magnificent idea. We had the opportunity zones, which were started by Tim Scott and President Trump as part of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. That's roughly about 8,500 opportunity zones in primarily minority areas. I believe it led to something like $75 or so billion in private investment being put into these neighborhoods because of economic incentives, low taxes, low regulations, that kind of thing. And a lot of black folks happen to be in the military, and peace through strength is a good thing. If you've got a daughter or son or granddaughter, grandson in the military, and you want them to come home for Christmas and not, wind up in a war overseas getting killed, peace through strength is a good way to maintain peace, as we did under President Trump. We didn't start any new wars. 4 Middle East peace agreements. This is great for all of us as Americans, and especially for black folks who happen to be in the military, have relatives in the military. So I think there's a very, very positive message for the GOP to spread. And they ought to go into black neighborhoods and advertise on black radio stations, black websites, et cetera, and get this message out there. And again, the goal shouldn't be 10 out of 10. If the goal is 2 out of 10 or 3 out of 10 support us, that is pretty much a victory at the polls in November.
Yeah. It's to me, I want to chastise my side of the aisle a little bit, at least the people competing to win these seats and those that are helping them. We'll criticize the if you don't vote for me, you ain't black line, which is the Democrats and Joe Biden himself saying that if you're black, this is how you vote. It's kind of the same thing to say from the right side of the aisle to say, well, if they're black, they're going to vote this way anyway. Do these people the respect that they deserve and show up and make your case and let them choose. And like you said, 20% decide to come your way. That's dramatically impactful. A last question before we let you go here real quick. We're speaking with Deroy Murdock. I wanted to ask you about Jamal Bowman, because everybody in St. Louis right now is side-eyeing over to Cori Bush going, please, can we do that? Can AOC come campaign for us? What do you think about Jamal Bowman's loss yesterday?
Yeah, well, this goes to show that I guess maybe the pendulum has swung so far left it's now starting to move back towards the center a little bit. With the victory of George Latimer, the Westchester County executive. He's no conservative, but he's also a Democrat who's not anti-Semitic and anti-Israel and pro-Hamas as Jamal Bowman is. I also suspect that if George Latimer is elected, he's not going to do things like pull the fire alarm in the U.S. House in order to try to delay a budget vote and try to get the Senate to vote first for complicated but budgetary reasons, and then get caught and say he didn't do it, and then get caught on videotape, and then plead guilty to a misdemeanor. They gave him pretty light charges. But Bowman is not just a far left winger. He's out of control, anti-Semitic, pro-Hamas, very profane in public. He had that event a couple of days ago in the South Bronx. He was just dropping F-bombs like crazy, and that didn't go over very well. So it's good to see him heading towards the private sector. I'd love to see Cori Bush return to the private sector, and I hope in your primaries that the voters in your area do that and give her an opportunity to live under the laws that she's voted to pass over the last few years while she's been in Congress.
Yeah. I think I said this on Twitter, but New York showed Jamal who the F he wasn't. And then he's sending himself along the way. We'd like to send Cori Bush to keep him some company, that's for sure.
And that F does not stand for freedom.
No, it does not. And if you don't know what it says, just listen to him for a bit, and he will remind you over and over and over again. My goodness.
Indeed.
Deroy Murdock, we love you. Thank you for being here with us today.
Okay, love you too, Annie. Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye. Bye. Deroy Murdock, nationally syndicated columnist and Fox News contributor, and our friend here on the Annie Frey Show. When we come back, Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg going to be with us. We're going to talk about the dire situation from our southern border, the mess that we have created, the chaos that we have created, and the death that we have allowed in the United States because of Joe Biden's open border policies. He enticed them to come here. He said it, come. And they did. And now there's blood on the hands of this president. If you ask me, and if you ask a lot of people, I think they'd agree with that. We'll ask the General Kellogg what he thinks about the situation, where it is right now, how much we're potentially looking at some sort of major terrorist event in this country before the election, after the election. What are we facing? What are we staring down? Kellogg, when we come back.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
To our bountiful Father above, we will offer our tributes of praise for the glorious gift of His love and the blessings that hallow our days. In the sweet by and by, we shall meet on that beautiful shore. And the sweet by and by, we shall meet on that beautiful shore.
Michael's Flooring Outlet, 3 locations in St. Louis. So if you want to go in the store and shop, this is a thing. You got beautiful displays out there. You're going to be able to experience, it's like, oh, I'm going to experience the floor. Yeah, you're going to experience flooring. When you're going to invest in this in your home, you want to be able to walk on it, get a good visual of what it's going to look like in your home, what it's going to feel like in your home. That really made an impact on me when I went to visit Michael's Flooring Outlet, and they had the displays out, and they had different padding under the displays. You know how okay, I like the look of this carpet. It looks great. This is what I want. And then you've got to put the padding underneath it. And some padding is more expensive than others, of course, because some is better than others or thicker or softer, whatever. And it costs more. What do you get for your investment? Michael's Flooring Outlet has that displayed for you, and they have the staff to back up answering all of the questions that you might have about your investment. So if you want to shop in-store, check them out in St. Charles County, West County, and Darien Prairie. If you're looking for a beautiful carpet, check out the Smart Strand Mohawk Silk line. You won't be disappointed in that at all. And you can find them online. You can request an estimate, see all of the different stuff that they have available for you at igotfloored.com.
Is your old garage door a real clunker? Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is paying cash for your clunkers now. They'll haul away your old garage door and give you instant credit towards the new insulated door. $200 for the first garage door and $100 for each additional door. Cash in your old opener, too. It's cash for clunkers now at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Convenient, free in-home estimates. Schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com or call 314-781-5200.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
Hello, Mike Carter here. I wonder if you knew that after the purchase of the Louisiana Territory in 1804, a formal three-flag ceremony was held in St. Louis to mark the transfer. The Spanish flag lowered and the French tricolor raised. That in turn was lowered the next day and the flag of the young Republic of the United States stood tall. I'm Mike Carter of Carter Law Offices here, and at that moment the people living here went from being subjects to being citizens of a great free nation. Jump ahead 220 years to what we have become, and over 6 million men, women, and children now call Missouri home. Our largest cities are an economic powerhouse, and our small towns and family farms remain the heart of the nation. A friend wrote me one time at Carter Law Offices, "Hey, Mike Carter, why don't Missouri residents show their pride by flying our state flag more often like the folks in Texas?" I was like, that's a really great idea. And I was thinking, maybe anybody who's listening to this, if you want to send me an email at mike@carterlegal.com with your name and address if you're okay doing so, and I'll send you a free state flag, and you can hang it out on your front porch and show everybody you're as proud of Missouri as I am.
You've listened to 97.1 FM Talk. You've heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple as the financial expert on the station for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio several times a weekend right here on 97.1 FM Talk. And you can talk to Doug Voss directly. Here's his number. Call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through D.H. Hill Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Joe Biden, you are not cognitively able to do this job, but that is not your fault. The open border is your fault. The inflation is your fault.
Yeah.
Your cognitive impairment is not your fault.
Weekdays from 3 to 6. This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Diamonds bursting inside us, we cannot contain. Your love will surely come find us like blazing wildfire, singing your name. God of mercy, love of mine, I have surrendered to your design. May this offering stretch across the skies. These hallelujah be multiplied.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thank you for being with us this afternoon. We've spoken with Caroline Sunshine with the Trump campaign a little bit earlier in the 12 o'clock hour. We just got done speaking with Deroy Murdock, and he thinks that Tim Scott would be the smart pick for VP. We'll have to wait and see who Donald Trump decides to pick, and hopefully we find that out tomorrow. I want to shift gears a bit here because of all of the debate conversation that's going on. Everybody's interested in the salacious details about what's going to be discussed and if Joe Biden's going to be able to make it 90 minutes and if Donald Trump is going to remain calm, cool, and collected to bring people into the camp tomorrow. But in the meantime, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world and also on the home front. that we need to remember that the commander-in-chief is in charge of in maintaining the American relationship with these foreign countries and also securing our own nation. And the current president of the United States sure doesn't seem to have done that. Let's get to our next guest. Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg joins us now. He's the former National Security Advisor to the Trump administration and the co-chair of the Center for American Security at America First Policy Institute. General, thank you for being back here with us today. It's an honor to have you.
Hey, Andy, thanks for having me. Good to be with you today.
Thank you. One of the things that I want to ask you very broadly, because I'm just interested in where you think our attention needs to be, on these 400 individuals who have found their way into our country in associationship with some sort of human trafficking or movement of people. And when the word ISIS gets thrown in there, I get at the edge of my seat. What can you tell us?
Yeah, I think we should be concerned about it. I listened to what Director Wray of the FBI said recently, and also the former Deputy Director of the CIA, Mike Morrell, when he said, when it comes to terrorism, all the lights are flashing red. And that's primarily because of the southern border, which is totally open. So we really don't even know who's coming in or the gotaway. So I don't think you can even put a number on it. You can't put one there, you can't 200 or 300. All I do know is that the increase in the people that are on the terrorist watch list that we've at least picked up has increased tenfold in the last 2-3 years. So, when they just picked up 8, individuals from Tajikistan, males, that are part of ISIS-K. They're in the United States. They're not here, to see a Taylor Swift concert. I think they're here to do some damage. And I think that it's a major problem. It's caused by this administration having an open border. And I don't care what Secretary Mayorkas of DHS says or what President Biden says. And I've reached a point, Andy, and I know it's harsh, and I know it's going to come as partisan, but they are lying to the American people, and that's wrong. Because we do have a problem with our border. Remember, they said the border was secure.
Yeah.
We don't know who's coming across. A lot of them could have terrorist ties. And then we saw that what happened in 9/11 was kind of something very similar. But I think it's worse because when you look at, to me, Andy, when you look at the United States of America, we are a very vulnerable society because we're so open. Yeah. When you look at our infrastructure, like our rail infrastructure, or you look at the energy sector, whatever it is, we don't have armed guards around them all the time. And we don't have an oppressive, authoritarian society that tracks these people. So it's a great question because it's a wide open game.
We're speaking with Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg right now about our national security, and it expands beyond that, of course, with the global stage. ISIS, you said ISIS-K. What do they? What would they want? Why would they want to be in here?
Well, they just want to cause damage. I mean, this is a very fundamentalist Muslim terrorist group, and this ISIS-K stands for Khorasan. They come out of Central Asia, primarily Afghanistan, and the Pakistani region as well, and they just want to cause harm. Or do they pose an existential threat? Are they going to bring the government down? No, but they're going to cause the same thing we saw with 9/11. The apprehension and concerns on Americans that were vulnerable to an attack by them, and they just want to cause mayhem. I mean, they don't have a goal that says we are going to overthrow this government. They just want to cause damage, and that's all they do. And that's what these terrorist organizations are designed to do, is create fear, trepidation in your mind, and that's what they're out to do. There's no greater purpose that they've got than that. They just don't like, bottom line, they just don't like our way of life. And if you don't believe in the fundamentalist Muslim way, then you are an enemy.
Yeah. Fundamentally, that is the belief system that they hold. You said the phrase that all of the alarms are flashing red, and you served as the national security advisor to the Trump administration. Were the alarms ever all flashing red in a time where you were serving in that capacity? Is this different?
Yeah, it's totally different. Here's how I've kind of explained it. Most people have gone to they've seen the arcade game and played in arcades. It's called whack-a-mole, where a ball comes up, you hit it with a racket, it goes down. And so you maintain constant pressure when threats come, and then you go after it right away. You don't dilly around. You make a decision to act, and you react to it. Well, what this administration has done across the board is they've let all the moles come up at the same time, and they're not whacking any of them. So what we used to do in the Trump administration, that if a threat surfaced, you would immediately go after it and do something about it. Example, when you had Soleimani, the Iranian Quds Force commander, when he was behind the actions on Iranian proxy forces trying to take our embassy on the 1st of July in 2020. On the 1st of January 2020. On 3 January, he was dead. So that's what I mean. You take an immediate response to a problem, and they don't do that. And so we would handle that immediately if it came up, and that's what you have to do. The national security decisions are hard. None of them are easy. But if you allow them to fester and continue to gain speed, then it becomes overwhelming. And I think where we're at today with this administration, we're virtually overwhelmed by the problems we see out there today when it comes to national security, because they have not attacked them each time it shows up. They just let it fester.
Yeah.
That causes you problems.
Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg speaking with us right now. You brought up Soleimani, and I remember vividly watching Donald Trump come out and the way he spoke about his death. I think that was the one where he said he died like a dog. And when Donald Trump speaks, and he speaks in his Trumpian way, that causes some people to kind of recoil because he makes them feel uncomfortable with the bluntness or the brashness with which he speaks. But when I pivot over to the current president of the United States and commander-in-chief, he speaks nothing on these issues. And it seems as the only time that we ever hear anything from this administration directly from the man in charge, it's in a political reaction to something that has happened that you can't put it back in the box again. So the message is always, how do I spin this against my enemies? Is that the way you see that this administration is reacting right now? Or do you feel like there's an investment, a purpose, an intended policy for open borders and for allowing the world stage to get in such disarray the way it has since Donald Trump has been in office?
You know, I think this administration is totally, to use this term, lost the bubble. They have just not paid any attention to national security, and because of that, deterrence has failed. Nobody really respects us. And one thing that Donald Trump brought to the table, despite his rhetoric, that when it came to adversaries and allies alike, there was a lot of respect to what the Americans were willing to do. But more importantly, besides respect, our adversaries feared us because they had no idea what Donald J. Trump was going to do. That sometimes we weren't too sure that he was going to do it. But we knew he was going to respond with force for the American people. And because of that, when you're an adversary, you basically say, you know, I don't want to play in this game. I'm going to go somewhere else. And it waved adversaries off because they said, I don't want to engage this individual. It's sort of like what happened. They said, look, well, let's use Ukraine. You know, when Obama was president, the Russians, they invaded and took Crimea. During we were 4 years in office, Russians didn't do anything. President Biden comes in, and what does Russia do? They take a huge chunk of Ukraine in the Donbass region. And they started another war there. And that's an example of respect when you look in fear. And then you look at something very, very similar. When we moved the American embassy in Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, we were told at the time by a lot of our people that you're looking at a third intifada, an insurrection in Israel and the Gaza region. And the president said, no, it's not going to happen. And he decided to move the embassy, as is prescribed by law, and nothing happened, zero. Yeah. And that's because they said, you know, I just don't want to play this game with the president. We'll wait for another day. And that's what they've done. They waited for another day, and they waited for Biden, and they've got him.
Last question for you, General. It's a two-parter. And, you know, I'm thinking to myself, if Donald Trump wins the election, that policies will change and change fast. I'm wondering how quickly you would anticipate upon the potential of a Donald Trump victory in November. He would have to wait until obviously January to be inaugurated. How quickly the world changes with the understanding that Trump is back in the office. And the second part of that question is, are we going to experience a very nefarious act before that January possibility of Donald Trump being inaugurated?
Well, the second part first, I think you have to be concerned about it. I think it could happen because people are going to realize if Trump is on the verge of winning, they don't want to extend it, and they don't want to get involved with Trump. And I think what you're going to see if President Trump wins re-election to become the 47th president, you see change occurring immediately, 6 November. The election's 5 November, 6 November. And the reason for that is because you have a lot of authorities that you can do as a transition president. And I think then you look at allies and adversaries going, no, I don't want to go there with him. Let's not do anything. And he can make a lot of things happen. Now, you can't, there's only one government in charge at the time, But he can send very, very clear messages to allies and adversaries alike. This is what's going to happen. And they'll start to calibrate that. So I think you can start making an impact immediately. And I think they'll start backing off or doing things that are different. I don't think they'll try and game the system and do something fast. So to answer your question, and it's a great question, I think you can see things happening virtually immediately with the intent for them to change policies and procedures. And he can signal that, and they'll pick up on those signals. So it can happen immediately as long as you got the people like President Trump who does have the willingness to make change.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing if any of these very serious issues are discussed at the debate tomorrow night. And if they're not, it makes me think it's not a very serious debate. We appreciate your time today, Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg. We're always grateful to have you on with us.
Thanks, Andy. Thanks for having me.
Yep, of course. Please come back again soon. He's the former National Security Advisor to the Trump administration and the co-chair of the Center for American Security at America First Policy Institute. On X at General Kellogg. If you would like to compliment him or thank him or react to him on Twitter, go there. All right, quick break. When we come back, YouTube live chat poll, is Joe Biden a good man? Yes or no? Yesterday we asked if Trump was a good man, gave you the opportunity to weigh in on that, and it's only fair that we flip the script here and ask you the same question about the other guy who will be debating tomorrow night. We are so excited to have a packed room at Dave & Buster's, and a little tip. And I haven't said this on the air yet, but our Biden bingo card is out. It's similar to the one we played at the State of the Union. We had, I think, like 350 people playing bingo with us at the State of the Union in March. If you go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel and see our live broadcast today, the link to the bingo card is in the description of today's live broadcast. Subscribe to the channel while you're there, too. Let's take a quick break. We'll get some answers to that poll question. Don't go away.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
The Retirement Advisory Group. You know Thomas Helbig. You've heard him on this show many, many times. He is your guy. When you are shifting, you're in that transition period. And, retirement is on your mind all the time. Partially because you're worried about it. You want to make sure that all the hard work you've paid into, all the sacrifice you've put into saving for retirement, you want to know what it's going to get you. And you want to know, maybe I could retire earlier than I anticipated. Maybe I'm going to have to work another year. Whatever the situation is, when you work with a retirement advisory group, you are working with a group of people who's never had a client lose a penny of their nest egg. Reach out to the Retirement Advisory Group online at retirementkey.com or schedule your appointment directly with them at 314-993-9494. 314-993-9494. Tell them Annie sent you and say you want to sit down and have a conversation. That conversation is going to cost you nothing. And when you leave, you don't have to do anything. It's all up to you. Trust the Retirement Advisory Group to have that conversation and then make the decision for yourself. I think you'd be glad you did. retirementkey.com.
Mike Carter here. Too often we lose sight of how fortunate we are to live in Missouri. When I travel out of state on business, people say, Mike Carter, what's so special about Missouri? Well, let's start with the mighty Mississippi and Missouri rivers traversing the state. They were the superhighways of the day used by French fur trappers and traders. Later, American settlers like Daniel Boone and waves of pioneers drove their teams and wagons along the Boone's Lick Trail he blazed. Carter Law Offices, right now, founded by me, Mike Carter, started and is on Boone's Lick Trail, near where those intrepid settlers crossed the Missouri to harness the land. Rich soils and generations of farm families like my own grandparents made Missouri the breadbasket of America. Drive a few minutes outside our cities and towns, and you'll find yourself passing miles and miles of undulating wheat and corn, farms and ranches that feed our nation. I'm Mike Carter, and I'm proud to live and work in the Show Me State, a place God blessed just a little bit more. Go to MikeCarter.com to see more about our great state of Missouri.
Hey, St. Louis, are you in search of top-notch cybersecurity solutions? Look no further. ThrottleNet is here to help. Ransomware attacks are on the rise, putting businesses like yours at risk. Don't let cyber criminals jeopardize your hard-earned success. ThrottleNet provides comprehensive cybersecurity services tailored specifically to your unique needs. Our award-winning customer service provides 24/7 protection to keep your data safe and secure. Take charge of your digital security today. Protect your business, protect your future. ThrottleNet.com, your reliable partner in cybersecurity.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aw, he just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Nos vamos a divertir mucho.
And that means we're going to have a lot of fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Summertime is crazy time for families, and nobody can go without hot water. If you're in need of a water heater, all you have to do is send a picture of your water heater to Beast Plumbing for an estimate and same-day replacements. Call 314-500-LEAK and tell them Bo sent you to Beast Plumbing.
The YouTube live chat poll today, is Joe Biden a good man? Yesterday, we asked the same question about Donald Trump. Weigh in with your opinion on Joe Biden being a good man, yes or no, and we'll let you know how this poll turns out at the end of the day. Looking forward to that. 1:45, this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
It's finally here. Donald Trump and Joe Biden together in one room.
Nobody thought he was going to debate. They didn't think I'd accept it. I accept.
Thursday night, the presidential debate. Keep it here on 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Brian, you're a really good shuffle dancer.
Oh, is that what they call that?
It's just amazing.
No, I just do whatever the rhythm does.
Didn't know you had it in you. It's very agile.
You should see me when I'm cold turkey and I'm dancing. I do a thing that's all ragtime. It's an all ragtime review. And it's wild, man.
I'm afraid to ask, what kind of performance is Saucy Nuggets?
Saucy Nuggets is just hip thrusting. And it's super short shorts. But cold turkey.
That's how you know it's Saucy Nuggets.
Is my full on drag review. It has been reviewed poorly, but
it has been reviewed.
It has been the review was reviewed, and it is. I would call it unsanctioned dancing because the drag community, first of all, has not accepted me, and the bars do not hire me. They do not want me there. But if ragtime comes on,
does your wife know about this? I'm not talking in the joke. I've stepped out of the joke.
Oh,
does your wife know?
Does my wife know that we joke about this?
Does your wife, if I said cold turkey to Mrs. Wiggins, would she be like, oh yeah?
No. In fact, somebody who's listening who knows my wife just needs to walk up to her and explain it so that I don't have to. Because if I have to, it's going to be a major eye roll, as if I'm trying to get her attention.
Who do you like? Cold turkey or Saucy Nuggets?
Or Saucy Nuggets. My hope is that she says Saucy Nuggets.
Because
if she says the other one.
It's actually making me nauseous.
It should. And you know what? You know who should pay for a sponsorship for us to talk about that?
Nobody's going to pay for any of this. No. McDonald's should pay for us to say that it's sponsored by Wendy's.
Wendy's has Saucy Nuggets. That's how the conversation happened.
Is that on the menu?
Yeah, it's really on the menu. I think somebody else, maybe Burger King or somebody else has them now too.
Can you find the hose commercial since we're living here right now?
Me?
Have any of you heard it?
No. Is it with Al?
Yes.
No, I just know that you've talked about it.
Have you heard the whole commercial?
The copper bullet hose commercial?
I don't know I just know Al Borland's selling his hose.
Okay, Richard Karn.
Wait, we're going to
He's
hose commercial.
It's got to be the current one though.
Yeah,
because I think that there are multiple.
That's the copper bullet hose commercial.
Bullet holes. That's different. We gotta
vet
it.
I got it.
Are you sure?
I know I'm not, but I think it's it. If you want to pull me up, Brad.
Okay.
This is a mistake.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We don't know what's happening here. Ready?
No.
I love my hose. My hose is lightweight. My hose will not kink. Come on.
And my hose is anti-leak. It ain't those old hoses. This is my hose. The new Pocket Hose Copper Bullet, now infused with real copper. Just turn on the water and watch your hose grow and grow to a full-size 3/4-inch hose. And when you turn off the water, away it goes, shrinking and squeezing that water out until it's practically bone dry. Our new inner tube uses 3 layers of high-strength latex on the inside. Then it's wrapped in a new polymer filament jacket, the same technology used in forest fire hoses because it's light and tough. Nearly impossible to tear or snag. And the redesigned connector protector with flexible collar helps stop leaks at the spigot. But my favorite part of our new hose build, the oversized, easy-to-grip fittings. Easy on and off, even with gloves.
It's the
Perfect
handle
for power washing
he's talking
cars
about.
and trucks, ready to go anywhere, even your pocket. With more than 100 patents worldwide.
Wait a minute. First of all, this is the long version.
I don't think that this is even a real product.
This is the-
I think that Al Borland was bored.
This is the 2-minute version of this commercial, apparently. And why would you keep a hose for your garden
Just
in your
case.
pocket?
You never know when the time might strike.
They're just doing things for you to go, I got a hose in my pocket, or you just happen to see. Like, this stuff is just for the sake of innuendo. There's no product.
White Eagle says, I actually just got the pocket hose. I really like it. It's a smart idea. All right, Mr. White Eagle Ranger.
It's the best pocket hose in the world.
Call Global Shop Director.
It's the best pocket hose in the world.
How many pocket hoses are there?
I mean, there's got to be
2?
3-4 dozen.
Oh.
Go online now to get the Pocket Hose Copper Bullet starting from a low price on your screen. This
sounds like
incredible
you.
expanding hose is available in a 7.5, 15, or 30-meter length. But wait, order now and you'll also get a bonus Turbo Shot spray nozzle. Perfect for delicate flowers to power washing your walkway. And you'll get a 30-day money-back guarantee and a 3-year warranty.
What are we talking about?
This lady is just standing there holding this hose, kind of like on her knees, and like looking at that hose, like, man, this thing is fantastic. And it's still spraying, but it's just starting to dribble because it's shrinking. FYI, there's a 3-year warranty on this. I don't know if they got to this, but there's a 30-day money-back guarantee and a 3-year warranty. So if your hose snags or springs a leak.
White Eagle says, I have 2. I really like them. And then he followed up with, I love Wendy's saucy nuggets. Great idea, too.
Here's what's confusing about the saucy nuggets. When I ordered those, this girl, she assumes that I know everything about saucy nuggets. And it was like,
Stop saying saucy nuggets.
the very beginning of the promotion. So I drive through and I'm like, oh, I'll take some of those saucy nuggets. She goes, just so you know, we don't have any of the spicy ones. And I was like,
don't you just want
okay.
to take the drive-through people just like out on the town and show them a good time?
Yeah.
Like, live a little.
Yeah, you know what? Things are okay. Things are not. Your life will get better.
As a former drive-through worker, in their defense, when you're working drive-through, things are not okay. People are not nice. People are mean.
I would have so much fun working the drive-through.
You have
for
to.
a day.
I think it could last longer than that if I was getting $20 an hour. Pond says they actually work very well and take up a fraction of the space, although I had never tried putting it in my pocket.
And for the record, this person that they show putting it in his pocket is not just putting it in his jeans pants pocket. He's got a big coat. You're like, you're not putting that in your coat. Why are you using it in the winter anyway? So anyway, with the saucy nuggets, this girl,
saucy nuggets.
Yeah, she goes, we don't have any of the spicy ones. And I was like, oh, okay, so like none of the habanero or anything. She's like, well, we have buffalo. And I'm like, well, that's a spicy one though.
So you educated her.
She goes,
I wonder why she was crabby to the next person in line.
She was going back and forth because she was assuming that I understood that really it's just 3 or 4 sauces, but then they put their spicy nuggets in those sauces to make the spicy versions.
Jax has been laughing at this pocket hose commercials for a while. Thought Tim Allen may have written it. I can't handle the hose commercial. Can you play the beginning again? Can you just listen to Al Borland be so excited about my hose?
I'm Richard Karn.
Yeah.
And I love my hose.
Okay. He gets you right from the beginning.
You know what? I didn't realize the first time through on this thing, right after he says that, and he looks bright and sunny, and
He's
the
happy
yard
to
looks
be there, man.
amazing. Right after that, they cut to a woman who looks disheveled. Her hair's all back in a ponytail. She's got cleaning products everywhere. She's walking, for some reason, into the house with an old-fashioned
Because he
hose.
loves his hose. Doesn't need her anymore.
She's got one of the old unwieldy ones that doesn't work very well. You know, it's just it's all kinked up and old. And she walks in and she doesn't know where to put all this hose. This hose doesn't even work anymore. And it's all black and white too.
Go back to the beginning. We're going to play this one more time because the sound effects, I mean, there are so many layers to this advertisement, of which, in full disclosure, I'm getting literally nothing to talk about this. I don't even have a pocket hose yet. But listen to the little sound effects that they're playing in the background at the beginning of this advertisement.
Okay. I'm Richard Karn, and I love my hose. My hose is lightweight. Oh, no.
There's the woman.
I think there's another one.
Oh, okay.
Hose will not kink. Come on. And my hose is anti-leak.
There's just multiple women dealing with these old hoses, but it's all women.
Ain't those old hoses. This is my hose. The new pocket hose, Copper Bullet. Now
Copper
infused with real copper.
Before it was fake copper. Now people will break into your house and steal it if you leave it vacant.
Which leads me to the question, is Joe Biden a good man? I bet he's got a copper hose. Bullet.
I don't know. If he's
That's
got,
the first time that you've listened to that whole
that's
thing?
the first time. Yeah, I mean that's especially that's the long version.
That's what they are in Fox. It's going to be on the commercial behind you in no time.
I've seen it play, but I've never heard it.
But that's the first time you've walked through it. In my allusions to it leading up to this point in time, I'm not like out of my mind, right?
Oh no!
No.
If you got a guy standing there, go, I love this hose. It's big, it's powerful, it sprays all over the
and
place.
it's my hose.
It's mine.
Nobody had any questions. Who was asking you about your hose? Why are you always talking about your hose? Women understand.
No, these women don't understand at all.
No, they get it. They're just pretending they don't because they don't want to talk about it. But here we are on this show. My goodness. We'll be right back.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
What's your favorite 4-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times dealing with this crazy world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our 4-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. And hope that your retirement plans don't take a back seat. You've watched inflation soar. And maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments. Find out how you may be able to save big on taxes. And find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call today to set up a meeting. 314-373-1598. That's 314-373-1598. Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services but does not provide tax advice. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory firm in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
You know, there's a sign I keep in my office that reads, "Remember where you came from." Well, Mike Carter here of Carter Law Offices. We all remember where we grew up, the schools we attended, and the streets we played on, and the friends we made. The Carter family has deep roots in Missouri. There was a Civil War captain from St. Charles County who became sheriff of Lincoln County. My own grandparents had a farm down in Carter County where I spent a couple boyhood summers riding a pig, to and fro. For myself, Mike Carter, I was raised in North County, and before you ask, I went to Hazelwood West High School. Growing up, my parents taught me that if I studied and worked hard, good things were sure to follow. And like many of you, I went to Mizzou, working my way through college, bussing tables, driving for UPS. Then I graduated law school, founded Carter Law Offices, and serve now as a municipal judge and general counsel of the largest employer in St. Charles County. But I never forget North County, where I came from, and the people and places that we all remember that make us who we are. Go to MikeCarter.com and check out some interviews from some other people across the great state of Missouri.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The Supreme Court deals the president a W. I'm John Saucier, Fox News. Supreme Court throwing out a conservative lawsuit that claimed the Biden administration unlawfully coerced social media companies into removing contentious content. We have Edward Lawrence from the Fox Business Network on this story.
The Supreme Court upheld the right of the federal government to ask social media companies to take down certain posts that they deem as not truthful, not necessary, or as a problematic. But this wasn't a decision on the opinion itself. This was a decision saying that the plaintiffs did not have standing. This was a 6-3 ruling against the plaintiffs in this, which were the states as well as a few plaintiffs that had sued the social media companies, including Facebook and Twitter, as well as the federal government.
President Biden, former President Trump making their final preparations for tomorrow night's CNN presidential debate. Fox's Jackie Heinrich has more from the White House.
It's been 6 days since we've seen President Biden hunkered down at Camp David with his closest advisors, reportedly helping him to shake the cobwebs off. According to the New York Times, a movie theater and an airplane hangar have been converted into a stage, and formal mock debates have begun. And the Trump campaign thinks people should be outraged by this. In a press call yesterday, the Trump campaign said they expect Biden to be ready, saying his muscle memory will kick in after 50 years in politics. But they also said he'll, quote, probably be filled with Adderall, like at the State of the Union, and also predicted interference from CNN's moderators. Team Biden says that's a sign that they're nervous.
Well, reports indicate President Biden's team has studied former President Trump's recent comments to try and see what gets under his skin in the hopes of triggering him tomorrow night. President Biden also has the endorsement of Republican former Congressman Adam Kinzinger. Kinzinger voted for President Trump in 2020, but has been critical of him after the riot on Capitol Hill on January 6th. Said he never thought he'd be endorsing a Democrat, but he says he knows Biden will protect democracy. America's listening to Fox News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. An important message about your timeshare from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. Contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about timeshare cancellation.
Call 800-653-1188. 800-653-1188.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The high heat is gone. Our high temperature this afternoon, 88 degrees with a steady drop in the humidity. Partly sunny skies. Tonight, clear and nice. Beautiful evening, 67 for the low. On Thursday, sunny and comfortable, 88. But the heat and humidity comes back Friday, especially in the afternoon. Stays with us Saturday, but cooler on Sunday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Diamond Shop, they're in Clayton. Have you been to the Diamond Shop yet? Have you gone in and seen all the beautiful, beautiful things that you can enjoy for yourself at the Diamond Shop? I hope you have. If you haven't, stop by Clayton sometime. Tell them hello. Tell them Annie sent you and see what they have. Any budget, they can help find something very special for yourself, for somebody you love. Right now, I want to highlight the fact that they have 6 months, same as cash. What is 6 months? Christmas. That's wild. I understand. That's crazy. But when they have, at least for the rest of June, 40% off all pearl jewelry, this is a great opportunity to get a beautiful set of pearl earrings, a strand of pearls. I own a strand of pearls from the Diamond Shop, and I cherish it. They also have 60% off all lab-grown diamond jewelry, which includes their Carriza engagement rings. Plus, if you become a VIP, an extra 10% off of most things in the store. If they have 6 months same as cash, that's a great way to get that thing that you've been seeking out, that you've been looking for, and saving it, spreading it out over time. And you can become a VIP online by going to thediamondshop.net.
Tip for everybody that, especially this summer, if you haven't had your air conditioner checked, if you're getting into a space where you're changing the filter and it's very hot, meaning like you have to go up in the attic or side area on your house, and if you just slide a filter out and then slide another filter in, and that's how you change your filters, try this. Put duct tape where you put your filter in that unconditioned space in the attic. If that's what you're doing, you're just going up and you're sliding in there. It's sucking a lot of hot air into your system. It's actually making your air conditioner not able to cool. If you have any questions about what I'm talking about, call me, Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600, or on the internet, that's bartinman.com. It's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Mark Cox here. Did you know the Rockwood School District is a great place to work? They're currently hiring school bus drivers, cafeteria workers, and custodial staff, as well as summer positions for mowers and landscapers. They have openings in Adventure Club, which is before and after school care. They offer competitive pay, flexible work hours, and a rewarding work environment. Discover the Rockwood Advantage and join an amazing team. Go to rsdmo.org/jobs. That's rsdmo.org/jobs.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
I can see clearly now thanks to the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and introducing Samuel Berry. You can too. Call 314-966-5000 or check out youridoc.com. That's youridoc.com.
We're here to help you get registered to vote, whether you're in Missouri or Illinois. Democracy 2024 on 97.1 FM Talk. If you need help getting registered, go to 971talk.com/vote.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We're glad that you're here with us today. Tomorrow is the big debate. We're all excited about that. We have Biden bingo ready to roll, which we actually have in our pocket anytime it's ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys both play Biden bingo on the State of the Union?
Yeah.
Did we watch that at my house?
Yeah, we were at your house doing it.
Okay. It was very memorable. Thank you for being there.
You're welcome. Glad we made an impact.
Oh, man. That seems like forever ago.
It really does.
And it was just March, wasn't it?
Did we watch it in the basement or upstairs?
No, it was
upstairs that time. Did we sit in a row did we sit all next to each other?
A little modified L shape. There, you and Ryan sat next to one another, and then I was kind of off
yeah,
to
that's
the
right.
side.
Okay, I remember that a little bit more. We played Biden bingo then, and it was a lot of fun. I think we had like 350 plus people playing, and it was popping. So I've got the link up right now for you to secure your card. I have 500 cards available, and we're going to have cards for the people who did manage to get into the debate watch party at Dave & Buster's tomorrow night. We'll have cards printed for you to play there if you're picking them up there. But if you want to play digitally with us as well, you got to reserve your card. The link is in the description of today's live broadcast on YouTube. So if you find our YouTube video, the link is there. I will put it out later, but I'm just giving those people a little bit of a heads up. I want to make sure that, I could tweet it out, but then people who've never listened to my show but follow me on Twitter might scoop up the cards, and I don't want that to happen. I want to give you guys the opportunity to do it first. So the Annie Fry YouTube channel, today's live broadcast, the one going on right now, the link is right there that you can click on or copy and paste. And all you need to do is put your email address in to reserve one. We've got 50 cards gone right now, and I expect them to continue to mount, especially the closer we get to the debate. I will open it up to more people. We'll make a Trump card too. Probably going to complete that tonight, and I will release that a little bit later. We're going to get the Biden ones out of the way first. I want to ask you guys, and we can monitor the chat as well, the questions that we have regarding the debate. We're going to have some questions answered tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And I'm not talking about what's your policy on the open border. I'm talking about, namely kind of like a scorecard of how at the end of the debate, we're going to say, well, we had this question. This is our answer. The first one to me, I think, is obviously, can Joe Biden successfully complete the debate? What an incredibly low bar. But isn't that the question?
It's amazing because I'm making some materials for the debate. I mean, this is a big deal. Like, we're doing a grand Battlehawks type open for the debate and everything. So we're making some stuff. I've been pulling clips, Annie, from his entire presidency and even before. And you can tell such a difference listening from 2020 to now. I mean, he has lots of gaffes back then.
Yeah.
And some of his most famous ones are from then. But listening to him talk now, it makes me really wonder, even compared to 3 months ago, whether he's capable at this moment of getting through an hour and a half with no script.
But that can't be a victory. I mean, he's the president of the United States. To be able to go an hour and a half with no script at a debate cannot be the bar. Like,
It is the bar.
It is the bar, and it's unfortunate that people are okay with that. I don't know, Ryan, we talked about this a little bit off air. The win for conservatives isn't just Biden getting through this. It's Biden being middle of the road and Trump having a good debate. Because what that ends up doing is that thwarts what Annie says might be the plan here, is if Biden has a really bad debate, it gives the DNC cover to remove him.
There's a big difference between, I don't think Joe Biden's going to be able to beat Trump in November. We should swap him out. That looks a lot different than Joe Biden can't make it through 90 minutes of a debate.
Yeah.
And I just feel like it would be easier for the Democrat Party to do what they need to do ultimately to win, because I think that's the only thing that matters. If Joe Biden falls flat on his face, figuratively, at the debate.
We went out to eat with some couples last night that my wife works with, and they have kids that are all about the same age as ours. And we were at like an arcade type place, so we were able to let them just go play games, and we sat around and talked. The first thing they all wanted to talk about was, okay, what's really going to happen in this debate? People are paying attention. And I keep coming back to the thing that you said before, and I think others have mentioned, that I don't know that I would have put this together day one, because that is what you did. You said when they put this debate so early, June 27th, that is really unprecedented for a debate to be that early before the candidates have even gone through their nominating convention. Well, there's got to be a reason for that, and it has to be exactly what the speculation is. Can he get through it? Because if he can't, they haven't had the nominating convention yet, so they could still do something about it.
What other questions do we have now that we will have answered by the time the debate is over? I think the next one that I have is, can Trump, I don't know the correct way to say it per se, to write it down, but I want to know if Trump is interested in expanding his base. Is Trump going to be the angry combative? What I would say kind of sums up in his vengeful nature. Because does Donald Trump want revenge? Of course he does. He wants revenge in the sense that he wants to be the president again. Now, a lot of people will say that and take it to the nth degree and suggest that it's something nefarious. I think, and he has said this in his own words, and I believe him when he says this, that his revenge will be summed up in his reelection and the success of his administration. That's the revenge he wants. He's got to figure out a way to say that. And I really think that he has to steer clear and watch Jake Tapper ask this question. Mark the tape, 2:14 on Wednesday when I suggest this. Donald Trump, you have suggested that on day one you would be a dictator. Do you intend to be a dictator should you win this next election? Because they want to remind people that he said that. The point of that question is that Donald Trump said that he would be a dictator on day one. When Donald Trump gets the opportunity to answer that question, the Trump way of answering it is, yeah, I said I'd be a dictator on day one because I was going to do this thing, this thing, this thing, this thing, and this thing. And then like the fourth or fifth paragraph of what he says is the explanation that none of those things are actually what dictators do. He was just going to go through a slew of executive orders exactly like Joe Biden did on day one, exactly like Donald Trump did on day one of his first term, exactly like Barack Obama had done. That's what he was going to engage in. You've got the executive authority to do things. Donald Trump is coherent enough to understand executive authority as opposed to Joe Biden that has selective memory when it comes to understanding the executive authority he has when it comes to buying votes through forgiving student loans, but can't figure out how to find his hands from his butt when it comes to figuring out how to close the southern border through executive authority. And then he does it and he says, well, the Republicans in the House weren't willing to do what they needed to do, so I had to take action. Well, no sugar, Sherlock. You could have done that from day one. But he knows that, or he doesn't, but whoever is making the decisions does. I really, really, really want to see, and I know that it's not what we're going to see. I will fall off my chair with glee if Donald Trump comes out of this debate intentionally charming and not combative.
Mm-hmm.
I want the debate. I want the question that we answer at the end of the debate. I want the story to be Joe Biden's story. And if the story is that Joe Biden was successfully able to complete 90 minutes of a debate, and that's his win, that he did it. Like, the people are like, don't set the bar too low. The bar is incredibly low. The bar is in the basement where Joe Biden campaigned from. And if the story at the end is that he made it through just fine through the debate, he's not going to not look like he did at the State of the Union. When you watched him speak at the State of the Union, you literally would sit back in your chair because it felt so aggressive coming from the microphone. And the second that he went off script, he started saying stupid stuff and the wrong words. That'll happen again. But they'll say he was so full of energy. He has such a passion for this country. And you could just see it really come through with the preparation. He knows what this country needs, and he brought the energy tonight to do it. Yeah, but his policies suck. And this administration has been a failure. If the story after the debate is a non-story, then the story continues to be Joe Biden's time as administrator. And that's a loss for him. If Donald Trump takes that away and has to possess it and tries to, land the final haymaker blow on Joe Biden to take him out, which is completely unnecessary. Was it Muhammad Ali that would just go as many rounds as necessary until his opponent was tired?
The rope-a-dope.
The rope-a-dope, exactly. That's what we're doing here. Let Joe Biden tire himself out. And the final punch here is your policy and the fact that you are not who they've made you out to be on the left. And this is the opportunity to crack that surface. It's not going to happen. I know it's not going to happen, but it's what I want. And right now I can still want it.
Yeah, it's the beginning of the season. You're always optimistic about your team before the games start. You're exactly right, though, because the best that Trump can do, in my opinion, is to come out and try to do those things. He will not be able to stop himself from landing some blows. He'll get worked up. He'll get, full of energy, full of testosterone, and start really
energy and testosterone
and start fighting.
Yeah.
Maybe he's got a copper hose. If you just tuned in, you're like, what?
You want to see the hose? It's in my pocket.
It's in your winter coat. Listen to the last segment. Get the podcast to know what we're talking about.
Or
But
don't.
I don't think that
You could pass.
I don't think he can do it. I think he can try. I think he can come out a little bit soft, come out like he's trying to be the palatable version of Trump, but he will at some point get worked up.
Landing blows is okay, but they have to be blows that make you look at Biden's administration, Biden himself, not like trying to say that he was gypped or ripped off or cheated or whatever out of his election. He needs to, I don't think he should even go after Hunter.
Who? Trump?
Trump. I don't think so. I think that
There's no reason to.
No,
Hunter is it the red herring? Am I saying this
Yes.
right in script writing?
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
I was never in the industry even.
It's incredible.
Thank you.
It's really amazing.
But
all of us in the industry
might be the first time I've impressed Ryan Wiggins.
Yeah.
This might be the moment.
My phone just blew up.
Yeah.
From industry people. They were like, what did she
Did
just
she
do?
just say red
They're
herring?
like, get me Annie's number.
Yeah.
She's like, is she represented by anybody?
No, just my kids.
But the other question, and this is kind of a side question that I would like to see answered, is how much are they going to use, and not even Biden so much, but the moderators. How much are they going to focus on the felon stuff? Are they going to make that try to stick and be the new thing? Because I haven't really seen that stick that much to him yet, but this could be an opportunity for them to test it.
For what to stick?
The label of felon. I think they're trying.
What's the question? I'm writing these down.
Will they be able to successfully brand him that way throughout? Are they going to try?
So how about who wins the convicted felon talking point?
Sure.
Okay. Anything off the top of your head, Brad, that you're really kind of waiting to see? Well, Friday on our show we got Joe DeVito. Is he in studio?
Yes, he's in studio.
Joe DeVito in studio on Friday. Will be fun to get his reaction. I hope he watches. Does he have a show Thursday night at 8 o'clock?
He does.
We'll inform him when he comes in. Everything you need to know, you can find out right here.
So what I want, man, is there any pressing questions that I want answered? I want to see if, and I think you guys have mentioned this, I want to see if Donald Trump can just deflect the attacks that we know, because I know Joe Biden's going to call him the convicted felon. I want to see him be able to deflect from that.
I don't know that he is.
I wonder. That's a big question for me.
I don't think that it's automatic.
I would say I think it is. And I can't, as much as I see people talking about it, as far as seeing talking heads on the news, seeing people on Twitter, that's the very much they want to point. He is a 34 counts convicted felon. They want that to stick. The thing is Donald Trump made the mugshot cool. You know, the mugs with mugshots, shirts.
He sure monetized it.
Yeah, he did. And I think that maybe they might misplay their hand here, and the convicted felon might be the new deplorables.
I'd like to see the Trump campaign, before the debate starts, ask people to go onto Donald Trump's campaign website and donate a quantity per time convicted felon is mentioned. So you could donate $1. If they say it 30 times, you owe $30. But for every time Joe Biden or Jake Tapper or Dana Bash says convicted felon, cha-ching.
I don't know if that's...
I would donate to that.
I mean, it's a great strategy. Is that going to be what they try to hang their hat on, though? Or is Joe Biden... Because I can see Joe Biden doing this, too. Really going all in on he is not... democracy will fall apart if he's elected. And that being really his only message of the whole night.
Yeah.
That could be it.
I think the three main points of Joe Biden's debate is going to be convicted felon, not fit for threat to democracy, and then the last one is going to be take away your abortion rights.
Insurrectionist.
Yeah, all of that under the democracy's at stake banner for sure.
If Joe Biden says something about the insurrection, I think that Donald Trump should go immediately into pocket hose.
Me too. He should pull out a pocket hose.
Al Borland should be there.
Yeah.
He's the only person in the audience.
Playing Al Borland, saying, I am not Richard
He should be the
Karn.
commercial break. It should be live.
They should go to him. Man.
Camera pivots.
He's right there.
He's like, have you seen my hose?
I love my hose.
Yeah, we know.
He's standing right behind Dana Bash.
Keep telling us. Joe Biden's like, hey, I like this guy.
Joe Biden would look so confused. He would be going, "What the heck is going on?" Like America, though. We would all be confused if that happened.
The amount of Botox that I think that Joe Biden is getting right now, he might not look that surprised.
No. He's going to look always
perpetually.
surprised. Yeah, he's going to look no different. I love my host. What the heck? Richard Card's behind me.
We'll be right back.
Goes good with a lake and a lake. Goes good with a dock and a dock.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Hook and a hook goes good with a country song.
Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Fry Show.
Smile goes good with a kiss. And a kiss goes good with you. And baby, you go good with me. Well, old cousin Carl thinks we need to close the border. Carlos disagrees. Son thinks trans is short for transformers, and daughter thinks money grows on trees. Cindy thinks the government's tapping her phone. Willie thinks we ought to just all get stoned. Label thinks I'ma get canceled as soon as I put out this song. Hope I don't bugbear.
Ruler Foods, online at rulerfoods.com. They've got delivery now. So if you haven't found the one closest to you and you've put off going in, some people just do delivery for groceries now. I understand that. It's very convenient. Ruler Foods is there to meet that need for you. rulerfoods.com. You can set up your first delivery and have those savings delivered directly to your door. I want to encourage you to check out the different kinds of hydration that you can get, because right now through June 29th, it's almost wrapping up here, they are celebrating Hydrating Your Heroes. When you go to Ruler Foods or your delivery, Prime Hydration, $1.88, 28-ounce Powerade or 16.9-ounce Bubbly Burst, 10 for $10. And Kroger Purified Drinking Water. Stock up on that. 24 packs, 2 for $5. Of course, you can enjoy those savings for yourself, but you can also, at Ruler Foods, donate some of that hydration for your local heroes, those people who are serving your community and making sure that you are safe and secure day in and day out. For low prices, for delivery, for groceries that you can rely on, the name brands you love, and Kroger brands at Ruler Foods prices. Check out rulerfoods.com.
Baseball season is heating up. With the free Odyssey app, you can get the most entertaining local coverage of your team while you're at work or on the go. Stay locked in and in the know with your favorite hosts as they bring you unfiltered takes, react to the latest team news, and talk to callers. Don't miss any of the action. Stream the shows you love live or on demand with the Odyssey app. That's AUDACY. Download it today for free.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
At Onder Law, we deliver big judgments for the little guy. Onder Law takes on the biggest industries and holds them accountable. Call today for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-699-1059. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-699-1059. That's 800-699-1059. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
You're mobile. We're with you on the radio or on the Odyssey app. Download it and take 97.1 with you, even outside the listening area.
Your home for conservative talk.
97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. There's a tweet going around, and there's lots of different takes on it, as per usual on social media. And this guy tweets out, this lady just picked up her husband from the airport, kissed him, and immediately went to the passenger seat. LMAO. Thoughts, Ryan?
Good for her. Although when I'm coming home from a flight, I think I'm probably getting in the passenger seat just because I don't want to think anymore.
Beta.
However,
I only said that for him, Brad.
So amazing.
Yeah. Hope you guys are enjoying yourselves.
Brad is.
Sounds like you are.
You guys kind of hope for the beta.
No, that's.
However, if we go pretty much anywhere, I almost always drive, unless there's some reason for me to not.
Because you're tired and soft?
Like when I came home from a business trip and I was looking to relax a little bit. Yeah, I'd say that would be one of them.
The only reason I'm joking about this specifically with you is because I believe it. But also, I don't ever, like, if I ever ask to drive, it's usually if we have a point A to point B that involves zero room for error, and it's from our home in Illinois to somewhere way far west that I have been before, that my husband hasn't been before, and I got to get there fast. And I just know it and need to get through it. And I drive that kind of highway traffic all the time. But if I'm doing a work event, out of 10 times that my husband comes with me, that happens like maybe once. The time is of the essence. Any other time, I am 100% in the passenger seat. And the whole time that I'm driving, in that 1 out of 10 times, my husband is like not wanting to be seen by other men.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand.
You feel that?
I do, but I got a question for you that I really need not only you to weigh in on, but I need like women and men to weigh in on this as well.
That covers it.
So anybody
Believe
who's
it or
not
not.
an
That's all there
androgynous
is.
sex neuter, weigh in on this.
Excuse me? What a show. What a day.
Do you, or if you're a man, your wife, do women leave the car on empty every single time?
So what you're trying to do here is ask a sexist question softly.
Yeah, I'm not really. I'm having less trouble wording it with the sexism as I am trying to address both genders at once. Because I'm asking everybody this question.
The question you're asking is, do women intentionally leave the gas tank empty?
That is correct.
For you to fill as a man?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I need reasons.
Is there a conversation that needs to happen after this, or you just wanted to know?
No,
yes or no?
there's already an ongoing conversation in my house. And my wife is, I actually walked out to the car last night because we were going out to eat. And I said, oh, the car is empty. You basic.
And she was like,
I
okay, fill the car.
hate that I am very typical in that way, but apparently I am. But my question is why? If it is a common thing, what is the reason? Is it just that, I don't have to worry about it, I know he'll do it?
Stacy on Twitter says, no, my car, I fill the tank. I do fill the tank if it fits my schedule that day. So basically, if it's convenient for me.
But then it's got to fit our schedule too. I mean, it's not always
it will if you get in the car and you can't get to where you need to be.
Look, I'm living with those facts.
Yeah.
I understand where you're coming from, and I understand that fact.
Gentlemen, if the two of you pull into a gas station, if you were very masculinely sitting in the passenger seat when the gas station gets pulled into, would you sit in the car while she pumped the gas?
No.
Why not?
I don't. I always go out and get the gas. That's not even an issue.
Well, that's because that's the way it's supposed to be.
But when she's driving her car to school and doing other things that don't involve me, she never fills the car up until it gets to the point where she can't drive it anymore.
She does eventually, if necessary.
Yeah, eventually. But I mean, it is like riding the E.
Here's the question I have for
possible.
you in return on behalf of your wife, because she is my best friend. Why does it bother you to fill up the car for her?
It only bothers me when I get in her car because I have to drive it for whatever reason, and I'm in a hurry.
Why don't you drive your car?
I know that you weren't in a hurry 100% of the times you were driving.
Are you driving her car because your
this.
car's on E?
No, never.
Why are you driving her car and not yours?
I don't know. Whatever reason. We need to fit something in the SUV that can't fit in the other car. Whatever.
Seems just like a lame excuse.
Oh, no. I'm like giving you no opportunity to get in and like make fun of me, and you still got me. You're still getting me somehow. But there are very good reasons. I don't always remember what they are, but something like that where I need to get something in the car.
Does she appreciate it when you put gas in her car?
No, she just thinks it's like that's what you do. And I was like, is this really? Because I know that's a meme. That's a
maybe
stereotype.
I have an idea. Maybe you should increase her allowance and she'll fill it herself.
I have, Annie.
Yeah, maybe she can't afford to.
You're coming at me from every angle, but I got you.
Did you tell her that's why you increased her allowance?
No, but that is one of the reasons.
Something lost in communication there, I think.
No.
If you'd let your wife understand that the money you said when she was driving to and from work.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to say that out loud and set that aside. So the allowance that you allowed her to spend, if you didn't articulate to her that you gave her a raise, maybe it was like a cost of living increase, wasn't directly related to the idea that, you know what, I'd like it if you'd fill up the gas tank from every once in a while, then she just doesn't know, and you've got to be communicating that to her.
Are you saying that she's not smart enough to know that?
No, I think she's actually playing you like a fiddle.
No, I don't, because if I asked her and she goes, yeah, I'm just trying to get you to do it, I'd be like, okay, a little bit of respect there. But she doesn't. She says, I just don't think about it.
Do you fill it up for her?
Yeah, because I have to. I'm trying to go somewhere, not going to make it there, or at least I'm not going to tempt it. That's the thing. She is willing to tempt fate way beyond what I'm willing to do.
I think that you are thinking about this more than she's thinking about this. And that when the gas tank gets that low, it gets filled, and then it's good for her the next time she needs to use the car. Because, spoiler alert, Ryan is a gentleman.
These are all facts.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like he's upset about it, though.
He
doesn't want to be.
I'm like, why is this so difficult to do?
Can I ask you a question just in general? Like, do you find...
I would like your opinion on
Do you
this.
find filling up the tank would be kind of... It's like a task? Like, not something that is, like, horrible, but you're just like, it's not a great thing.
When you're in a hurry, no. Otherwise, I don't care.
Okay. So, you love your wife, right?
Oh, great. Here we go.
And because you love your wife...
Rewind the tape to where I'd really like your opinion on this, Brad.
Yeah.
It's
no, you can hear him like...
This is that sacrificial
he's doing Ted
love.
Cruz
This is
debate
that
mode.
sacrificial love that the Bible's talking about.
Oh,
where it's
okay.
like, it's the stuff you look at that you're like, man, I don't really like doing this, but if I don't like doing this, my wife's really not going to like to do this. So I'm going to do it so she doesn't have to.
Yeah, or she could just do it when she needs to instead of pushing it all the way to E.
Yeah, see, that's how annoying it is to you. Don't you love your wife?
I'll ask you this question. Is this an issue in your household?
It is non-issue in my household.
Are you kidding me?
Does Brad just take care of it every time?
It's a car.
Not every time, but yeah.
But it is a thing, though, right? It is a gender thing.
Yeah,
It's not
okay.
a gender. You can't call it a gender thing if it's a norm that has existed because that's the way things shake out in your family.
No, that's what I'm asking is if it's beyond my family. Is it everybody?
I think that it is easier to turn over anything that relates to the car to the man. But it's certainly not necessary. I have no problem. Where do we go to get oil? Valvoline? I actually go to Cassin's and get all my oil changes at Cassin's. If it's the way things naturally shake out, like in my household, my husband does most of the laundry. So that's not something you would traditionally say is a male role, but that's just kind of the way it shakes out. And he hates it. I hate it. Everybody hates laundry, but it has to be done. And it just works that's the way those chores are divvied out in our family. But I don't think that, especially in 2024, like, is laundry a female task or a male task? I still think more people would end up saying female, but I think the percentages would be much more even than they even were 10 or 20 years ago. I think filling up the tank, like, I never ever think of filling up the gas tank as my husband's job. But I will say, I will get down to not E. I try to fill it up at a quarter tank, before it gets to a quarter tank now. But I also have to drive 50 miles a day to and from work, so you just protect yourself that way. If I get home and I know that the next time I get in the car, I'm going to need to fill up the tank, I will say to my husband, like, hey, if you're going to go to the store tonight, will you take the car and fill it up? And he's happy to do it for me because he loves me.
No.
He doesn't have any problem with it.
Last question on the topic, and real questions. When you fill it up, are you all the way, or are you just like, I'm going to put $20 in?
No.
What's it, $20 get you a gallon?
All the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, fill it up.
And for the record, I filled up my own tank of gas this morning.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Katie's doing
felt
that.
like really masculine doing it.
I think she is just saying, I'm gonna stop at $25 or whatever, because it's never full.
Well, it's because you won't increase her allowance.
I did. I just told you.
All she has left.
I did.
Yeah.
We did.
Have
we
you
just had this
factored
discussion.
in inflation to your wife's allowance?
Uh-huh. Yeah, we talk about inflation so much that my 7-year-old now, when we have to pay too much for something, goes, Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's going on in every family. Every family is having inflation discussions right now. I just don't know if they're all blaming Biden. I hope they are.
Cold on YouTube says, make me a sandwich now, woman. Oh, you've come to the right place, sir.
Cold is going to get a sandwich mailed to them.
Mm-hmm.
It might not be great when you get it if it has mayonnaise on it, but you'll have a sandwich.
Do you mind filling the tank for your wife, Brad?
No, not at all.
I love my wife tremendously, and that's why I do that.
That's the footnote on this conversation.
That's the name of this segment.
We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Hey, I don't know if you do any business in the rental world. I do, and one of the ways that I do that and also work a full-time job is to have a lot of help. So if you're out there doing it alone, you're going to find that you need help once in a while. Sometimes you're going to need somebody to do everything because you just can't handle it with the time and the money. Call Rapid Rental Renovations. Go to murphycleanoutservices.com. That is their website. They, of course, will do the clean out for you as well. That's where they started their business. But then they realized, you know what? People need a lot more than just clean out services. If you have a rental house that has been vacated by its tenants, or if you're doing rehab, that's the situation I found myself in a couple months ago when I called them. They gave me great bids on everything. And I'm talking little stuff to big stuff like carpet, flooring. They're doing some vinyl flooring in the kitchen. All that stuff is taken care of with one call. That's what's amazing, because I don't really know anybody else that can do that with one call. You got all these different people. Rapid Rental Renovations can do it. Visit murphycleanoutservices.com. Again, that's where you're going to find their phone numbers, murphycleanoutservices.com.
It's time to get your body in shape for the warm weather, and Victory Men's Health can help. Mark Cox here for my friends at Victory. They've got semaglutide for ladies and men, and all you need to do is go to victorymenshealth.com to find out more. They've got 4 convenient locations now: Sunset Hills, Wing Haven, Town and Country, and O'Fallon, Illinois. A simple blood test, and you could be on the path to losing up to 15% of your body weight. Tell them Mark Cox sent you. Go to victorymenshealth.com.
Software engineer for Equifax Inc. in St. Louis, Missouri. To design, develop, test, deploy, maintain, and improve software. Requires bachelor's degree in computer science, management information systems, engineering, or related field. Willing to accept foreign education equivalent. Plus 6 years of experience as a software engineer or related occupation with experience in software development, or alternatively, a master's degree in computer science, management information systems, engineering, or related field. Willing to accept foreign education equivalent. And 4 years of experience as a software engineer or related occupation with experience in software development. Email resume to jobs.opportunities@equifax.com. Reference position number 11433. Again, software engineer for Equifax Inc. in St. Louis, Missouri. To design, develop, test, deploy, maintain, and improve software. Email resume to jobs.opportunities@equifax.com. Reference position number 11433. That's resume to jobs.opportunities@equifax.com. Reference position number 11433.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Hi, Chad Hansen with Hansen's Tree Service and Environmental Resources. At Hansen's, we manufacture a full line of garden and landscape products that are perfect for your outdoor project. Pick up any of our products at World Outdoor Emporium, Kirkwood Materials, or a Hansen's location near you.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. If you're not sure who to call for air conditioning services, contact the team at Air Comfort Service. With 55 years of experience and thousands of 5-star reviews, you can trust them with the comfort of your home. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Follow me to my favorite tree. Well, I'm offering a steady hand. I could be your security. There's no guarantee on anything.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. I just realized you hijacked that whole segment last time about your uncomfortableness of helping your wife not be stranded for running out of gas.
That's how I would phrase it.
Yeah. This post that was on social media says this lady just picked her husband up from the airport, kissed him, and immediately went to the passenger seat. LMAO. So they're laughing at the idea that a woman would drive to the airport, give her husband a kiss, and then be like, you drive. That is 100% what we would do in our vehicle. You said it would depend on how tired you were that day. Brad?
No, that's what we would do too. Terry would just give me a kiss, move over to the passenger seat.
That's what I tried to do when Brad picked me up from the airport. He wouldn't let me do it. So
yeah, it was the kiss thing that I had a problem with.
Hey, Brad.
Letting him drive wasn't that bad.
You would never let Ryan drive.
You're right. You're right.
You'd be more likely okay with the kiss than letting him drive your car.
Like, what if I let you kiss me on the cheek? Then will you let me drive?
I thought I was driving for a good portion of that way home. And I thought, well, this car must be British or something because I'm sitting on this side,
Press the horn.
This is when you came home from Japan.
And he was going, I'm like, wait a minute, this is a fake wheel. He tricked me. At least he let me kiss him.
All right, Brian. 6 years and counting. The YouTube live chat poll for today, which you can all hurry up and go get your vote in before we wrap it up here in about 7 minutes or so. It's a pretty resounding response. Is Joe Biden a good man? Yes or no? Brad, why don't you take this one first?
Man,
what do you think?
I struggled with this because I really want to think the best of people, but I can't get past how he treated Hunter Biden. So I watched that special on Fox Nation, and as a parent, I was just looking at him saying, like, the way he talks about Beau, it was just obvious to me that he really treasured Beau Biden, and I couldn't help but look at Hunter Biden and see somebody who saw his dad praising his brother and feeling left out. He left me whenever we were in the hospital to go be in the Senate, all of this other stuff, and everything that Hunter Biden has turned into, I just can't help but shake the feeling that it's because Joe Biden played favorites with his kids and really just wasn't there as a father. And I think as a father, no matter how hard you work, you got to be there for your kids. And so I end up voting, no, he's not a good man.
Just like yesterday when we talked about Trump, we all approached it first from the biblical angle and say there is no one righteous, so you say no to that question. But when we said, okay, let's set that aside and just talk about sort of preference and what we think about the person, I said no to this question also because I'm basing it, mostly on other people saying things about them because I've never met either one of them. I don't know them personally, so I'm mainly looking at their policies to look at how they're affecting the country. And to me, one of the most compassionate things you can do is run things well if you're at the top. If you're running them well for everybody under you, that is a good thing to do. I don't think Joe Biden has done that well, and it's not just because he's losing his mind. I think it's because they have their priorities wrong. He has the wrong priorities for people and for the country. It is power-based. Therefore, I'm saying no to this question.
I think that's an interesting perspective. I'm trying to measure it in the same way that I measured it yesterday against Donald Trump because if I want Donald Trump to win the presidency and I think being labeled a good man will help him win the presidency, the easy answer is like, yeah, he's a great man. He'd be great for the... Right. But I understand that Donald Trump is a complicated person and he's very public in his life. We know a lot about the things that he has involved himself in, indiscretions that he's had. And, ironically, all of these indiscretions from a political sense, Democrats loved him when he was participating in a lot of these affairs and that type of stuff. Like Democrats at the top were A-okay with it. They're just not A-okay with a Republican being okay with a broken person because they apply a standard that they don't apply to themselves to the person who's doing the judging and saying that Donald Trump is a good man. So I think the reason why I said yesterday that Trump, I believe to be a good man, is based on anecdotes from people who know him well and who know him behind the scenes. So there's all the front stuff, but for the people who know him behind the scenes. Will Scharf was in studio with us yesterday, and if you go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel, you can see the video where he says, do I think Donald Trump is a good man? I think Donald Trump is a great man. And then he explains in his own personal experience why he believes that. I trust Will Scharf. I value his input, and I value the input of many other people who I've talked, and the story is consistent each time. There's a quote out there about Julian Assange that somebody said, why don't you dig up any dirt on Donald Trump? Have you ever seen this? He said there isn't. So. He said there isn't any.
Oh.
I would like to see the clip of that. I want to see it like from in his own words and not in a meme to understand the veracity of it. I don't hear these same stories about Joe Biden. I don't hear these stories about generosity when it comes to Joe Biden, about compassion when it comes to Joe Biden. I hear about him not paying contractors who service his house. I've read on the Hunter Biden laptop text messages that have been exchanged or emails that have been exchanged where, to Brad's point, he has definite preferential treatment over his sons And, Hunter Biden's actions are going to affect the way a parent would react to the child, but it shouldn't really affect the way you feel about the child. I don't have much evidence that suggests that Joe Biden has ever been in anything if it wasn't to benefit himself. And there are two character traits that I have zero patience for. The first one is arrogance. And the second one is self-centeredness. When you're around people who very clearly everything that happens in their world, it's just about them. They never allow another person to be the important person in that conversation. They don't allow other people to have center stage. That everything inevitably always comes back to that one individual. And then when you're around them, you're treated to unending arrogance. I'm just without the nicest thing I can do is just turn around and walk away and keep my facial expressions to myself. I'm just not interested in it. Maybe, I'm open to being wrong here, but I don't really see anybody who's just exhaustive on how good of a person Joe Biden is, and they really try to push how good of a caring father he is, and we have literal evidence that suggests otherwise. If the Ashley Biden diary was one of the Trump daughters' diary, it'd be gospel.
Oh yeah, that is an absolute fact.
And we're just supposed to pretend it doesn't exist. The memory hole takes over. And that stuff is, I feel like it's godless. That all of it is godless. And when something feels godless, you have to remember there's always a God. It's either God or it's yourself. And that's the Joe Biden that I see. And again, I'd like to be wrong. I've said on this show many times that of all of the things that I disagree with Barack Obama, it seems like, and I know all the chit-chat that's out there about these things today, the conspiracy theories, but it always seemed to me like Barack Obama was a loving father and a good father considering his high profile. And I think that Barack and Michelle seem to have a good marriage. And they've come out and said that they've had a lot of struggles, but a good marriage is not without struggles. I think Joe Biden is as shallow as they come, which is why I feel like the lack of memory Joe Biden that we see right now is a pretty empty vessel. Almost 300 votes in today's YouTube live chat poll. Is Joe Biden a good man? Yesterday we had, I think 26% said Trump was not a good man. I think it was 26-74 or 76-24. Today, we've got 273 votes in. 90% of you said no, he's not a good man. Tomorrow is debate day. If you go to the description on today's YouTube video live broadcast of the show, you'll be able to click and reserve your Biden bingo card, especially for you folks here in St. Louis. We're excited to celebrate with you. If you aren't coming to the party, I'm going to put up the stream, reserve your spot on the live stream. We'll be streaming it on the YouTube channel as well. Don't go away. Mark Reardon, next.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aw, he just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Nos vamos a divertir mucho.
And that means we're going to have a lot of fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Summer is